exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
79-52 Vanderbilt.
I think he's going to coach him up by zero.
You're going to see more moves.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Where you have a voice.
He had a competent coaching staff. You just play terrible and you keep playing.
And we have strong opinions.
What a whiny freaking crybaby response.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Polk has made 6 straight field goals of 40 yards or more. This will be a 41-yarder to win it.
Inside of 40, he's 65 in a row.
Amazing.
In his career.
From the near hash mark, the rain is lightened up. Good snap, good hold. Kick is on its way. The game winner, and it is good! The Tennessee Titans in overtime have knocked off the LA Chargers 27-24.
There you go. Titans 1-1. Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to Superbook Sports, live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. It is a Titans Monday after the Titans beat the Chargers yesterday. Boy, who saw that one coming? Who saw that right down to the wire, especially when the game started off 11-0. Ian is here today. Hello, Ian.
What up, what up?
Big win yesterday for the Titans. And I don't know about you guys, but I walked out of that stadium yesterday with just the burden of relief. Just this idea that the Tennessee Titans were right there on the verge of starting 0-2, that Justin Herbert was driving down late in the fourth quarter with a chance to score a touchdown to win the game. And not only did they not score the touchdown, they got the ball first in overtime. You got a 3-and-out, and you went right down the field and kicked a field goal. My kicker out there making the kick right down the middle. I say that facetiously, by the way. You win 1-1. And this is the question I want to start with everybody. How much better do you feel today about the Tennessee Titans than you did last Monday? Now, in 4 hours, I'll be able to completely tell you exactly how you felt the difference today between last Monday, because I will have gone through 4 hours of taking your phone calls. Last Monday, you guys were furious. Last Monday, you guys were talking about tanking for Caleb Williams. Last Monday, you wanted to bench the quarterback. Last Monday, you thought this was going to be a lost season. Last Monday, you thought Justin Herbert was going to come in here and score 85 points on the Titans. And all of a sudden, now you're 1-1. How many of you look at your defense and say, hey, you know, Miami's defense wasn't bad last night in the Sunday Night Football game, but they allowed 34 points to the Chargers. You allowed 24. How many of you are looking at the offense saying, all right, you know, that's what we're looking for. Big plays to Burks, big plays to Chris Moore, running the football effectively with both guys. Tannehill looked in rhythm. It's a much different feeling. But what was the line in both games? That margin between victory and defeat. One play here, one play there. The GM used to always talk about this, and we've brought this up several times over the years because you know it's true. But when the NFL had 16 games, he used to say the league's designed for everybody to be 8-8. The league is designed for the really, really good teams to win 14 games. The really, really bad teams to win 3. And outside of that, everybody else is 8-8. And it's the difference of 4 plays here, 4 plays there. 1 injury here, 1 miraculous stretch of health there that decides your season. The Chargers are 0-2. Brandon Staley is firmly on the hot seat. They've lost their games by a combined 5 points, one of which came in overtime. That's it. 1 play here, 1 play there. That's it. The difference between you beating the Saints, 1 play here, losing to the Chargers, 1 play there. And that's how this season is going to go. this week against the Browns, and I am looking forward to watching the Browns tonight on Monday Night Football. I don't know why, the NFL decided to schedule this doubleheader. I don't think anybody in America is going to be interested in watching Carolina versus the Saints. That is a Thursday night football game if there ever was one. But tonight, Cleveland and Pittsburgh, I bet it'll probably be one play here or one play there. Not every game's going to be perfect. There are going to be good plays, like the option play where Ryan Tannehill ran it perfectly. Tajay Spears exercised the fake. It was a great play call from Tim Kelly. Tannehill's got Henry running right with him. Derwin James has to make the choice. He doesn't know where to go. Tannehill takes it into the end zone for a touchdown. What a great play. And there will be bad plays, like the fourth down call. Vrabel never should have put them on the field on that fourth down. It was probably a bad call, and they just didn't block a blitzing linebacker who got a free shot at your quarterback and took him out. And that's going to be the story every week with this team. Now, sometimes you'll play teams like Houston or Carolina that have rookie quarterbacks, or you'll just play a bad team at some point this year. And I hope, and I think you hope too, that you can win that game 31-13. It'd be nice to win some games around here 31-13. The Titans don't seem to do that very often. But that's not going to be the reality of what we get week in and week out with the Titans. What we got in week 1 is exactly what we got in week 2. The difference? You could argue it was you were playing at home. You could argue that it was Ryan Tannehill completed the deep passes to open guys. You could argue that it was the defense, when they had to get a stop, got 2 stops against the Chargers. But that's it. That's the difference between that feeling of absolute misery last week when the Titans started 0-1, losing a game against a New Orleans team that, quite frankly, I'm not convinced is very good, losing a game that I think all of us can agree to the Titans should have won. And the defense goes out there and gives up 16 points, and gives up 16 points in a game where they gave up too many big plays. And they gave up too many big plays yesterday. But they give up 16 points. You should win that football game. I don't care if you're on the road. I don't care that your offensive line sucks. But, the play caller had his head shoved up his tush, and he didn't give the ball to the best player. And the quarterback was awful in that game and was locking in on one receiver and was missing open guys. And again, you lost by one play. Maybe one coaching decision. That's how all of these games are going to be decided this year for the Titans. And that's not unlike last year or the year before that. How many games did the Titans win where it was decided by one play here or one play there? Even in 2021, the analytics gurus hate teams that win by one score because they think that it's a luck stat. They think that one week you got lucky to get that 1-1 score win, and the next week you're unlucky to get that one score loss. This week against the Chargers, you got every good call, every roughing the passer you got. Hitting the defenseless receiver, which I'm not sure I would have called that, but okay, fine. You got it. Last week, they fumbled away a touchdown, and you didn't get it. So the analytic guys hate those one-score wins because they think it's all a matter of luck. That's why Minnesota one-score games last year, 11-0, 0-2 this year. They say it's evening out. But I think ultimately what's going to define this season is I didn't think the Titans coached very well against the New Orleans Saints. I didn't think the quarterback played very well against the New Orleans Saints. I don't think the Titans blocked very well against the New Orleans Saints. And I'm not even convinced the Titans played great defense against the New Orleans Saints. And while they weren't perfect yesterday against the Chargers, they were much better. The offensive coordinator was much better. Derrick Henry played 70% of the snaps yesterday. Why? Because he realized that's probably not a good idea to have Derrick Henry out there for 48% of the snaps. Good call. The quarterback played much better yesterday. He threw 4 incompletions, and one of which hit Trevon Wesco right in the breadbasket. He was excellent yesterday. excellent. Much, much, much better than he was the first game. The defense. Now, they gave up too many big plays, which I don't like, but the defense held tough. Again, that's a Charger team with that quarterback. They're going to score 35 points a game. And the fact that your defense held them to 24, in large part, and 3 of which Vrabel gave them to start the game, which is another thing that I'm going to go crazy about here at some point today, is kind of eye-opening. So you played much better in week 2 than you played in week 1. You didn't get a punt blocked, had a nice punt return in overtime, got the big sack when you needed it, the Harold Landry sack right before the end of regulation. And that's the difference between winning and losing. And so I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged that the Titans are getting better. The Titans are getting smarter. The Titans are learning more about themselves. But the difference between the elation of winning in overtime yesterday and the depression of last Monday, one play here, one bad call there, and that's what it's going to be like for this team. That's what it's been like for this team every year. It was that way when Mike Mularkey was the coach. Remember, they went to Cleveland, who hadn't won a game in 2 years, and they won in overtime. And we all complained, led by me, saying that Cleveland team is so bad, how can you barely beat them? And yet they went on the road against Kansas City in a playoff game and barely beat them. One play here, one play there. Mariota completes a pass to himself for a touchdown. One play here, one play there. Harrison Butker, a reliable playoff kicker, misses one. Vrabel is the coach, 9-7 the first year, don't make the playoffs. The second year, 9-7 make the playoffs, end up in the AFC Championship game. The third year, against a bad Texans team, barely wins the division with a long field goal by some guy named Sam Sloman. The fourth year, barely get the number 1 seed in the AFC and barely lose a playoff game by a field goal at the buzzer. Last year, barely missed the playoffs by, was it an incomplete pass? Was it a fumble? And so far through 2 games this year, one play here against the Saints costs you the game. One play there against the Chargers wins you the game. Folks, strap it in because it's going to be a long season of this. I just want you all to know the roller coasters of yesterday, it's coming every week for this football team. Lord, please give them some easy wins over the Texans so we all don't stroke out this season. But that's what it's going to be. And so the way that I compartmentalize yesterday's game, and we will break down every little nook and cranny of this, but the way that I compartmentalize yesterday's game is you're 1-1 onto the Browns. Jacksonville's 1-1. Indy's 1-1. Houston's 0-2. Jacksonville, by the way, and I watched their game against the Chiefs, they stunk up the joint. Stunk it up. Now, I'm not going to hear anybody talk about it, but that's reality. So get ready for more of the same of what we've been dealing with the last handful of seasons. And the reason why it's going to be like this is because that's how this league works. That's how this league is designed. One play here, one play there. Now, I thought Tim Kelly had an excellent bounce-back performance yesterday. I thought Ryan Tannehill had an excellent bounce-back performance yesterday. I think it was night and day for both guys. I think the offensive line had their good moments and their bad moments, which is better than what I would say against the Saints, where I felt like, for the most part, they had their bad moments. And I thought the defense, even though they gave up too many big plays, I thought the defense without Fulton and without Hooker really held tough. And special teams, again, the field goal kicker's making his kicks, which you're not going to hear me complain about. Even though you know that I hated the trade when they made it. I mean, Nick Folk has come in and he has kicked that ball right down the middle. And I just want him to keep kicking the ball right down the middle. I don't want anything else. I like what I see. Kyrus Jackson had a good punt return. Now, punting is a little bit of a problem, But Kearis Jackson had a good punt return. I thought that he did a really good job yesterday. So I'm encouraged by the game itself. But if you think that all of a sudden the Titans have figured it out and it's going to be different than it's been the last 5 years, that it's going to be different than it was week 1 or week 2, you've got something coming to you. This is going to be an every week thing for the Titans. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. Of course, we are to you early and often today. 615-737-1025. You know, we have not done this. You know, Ian, I don't know if you saw this. I noted this in the grid today. We haven't done this since Caroline was on the show with the game balls.
Crazy. I guess that's what a losing streak will do for you.
I mean, we got game balls to give away. It's almost like we got to tell you what we do on this program because it's been so long since we've handed away game balls for the Titans, but we got 3 because, again, the GM used to tell us, Ian, 1 on offense, 1 on defense, 1 on specialty. You can't give away 8 game. Not the case yesterday. So we'll give those out and get to your phones. 615-737-1025 is our phone number here on a Titans Monday. 615-737-1025. Be sure to join me, Chris Sanders, and D. Mace at Twin Peaks in Cool Springs on Sunday from 9:30 to 11:30 for the pregame show, where the award-winning pregame show, where we'll break down the Titans and the Browns. Again, that's Cool Springs, Twin Peaks, and our show is presented by Parman Tractor and Equipment and The Beast Unleashed.
New home. New energy. Same Blue Raiders.
99 yards. Touchdown, Middle Tennessee.
Catch every game for MTSU on 93.3 Classic Hits. Coach Rick Stockstill is poised to lead his team to yet another bowl appearance.
We're really excited about this opportunity.
Your home for the Blue Raiders is 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
At Harbor Freight, we think you shouldn't have to break the bank to get great tools. Because we know that for some of you, tools are part of the job. And for others, they're just the beginning of making, fixing, restoring, and building. That's why we make high-quality tools that are priced affordably. Because we love being the start of all your working, making, fixing, restoring, and building. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
It's time for another Kubota Field event hosted by Coleman Tractor of Nashville. Our biggest sales event of the year will take place on Thursday, September 21st at the Nashville Gun Club during the Shooting Hunger Sporting Clays Shoot. Stop by our booth to learn all about Kubota. Zero-turn mowers, utility vehicles, and more. Take advantage of Kubota's competitive financing offers, receive a coupon for up to $250, plus enter to win prizes. Try it and buy it at Coleman Tractor of Nashville during the Shooting Hunger Sporting Clays Shoot at the Nashville Gun Club, Thursday, September 21st. The event kicks off at 7:30 a.m.
The 2 most sought-after, most prestigious names in bridal jewelry come together for one epic event this weekend at Genesis Diamonds.
Tacori and Veragio, the world's premier designers, are showing off their entire collections. All the latest designs, many showcased for the first time ever, with up to $5,000 in savings.
Everyone loves Tacori, meticulously crafted by master artisans in their California design studio. Discover the hidden details and exceptional quality that sets Tacori apart. There's always more than meets the eye with Tacori. Come explore the entire Tacori collection, including all new Tacori fine jewelry, earrings, bracelets, eternity bands, pendants, and more.
If you're engagement ring shopping, this is a once-a-year event you can't miss. Other jewelers aren't even allowed to carry these iconic American-made brands.
Also for this event, Genesis is showcasing an expanded selection of GIA-certified diamonds in all shapes and sizes.
Come join us and take advantage of special incentives, zero-interest financing, and as much as $5,000 in savings. This Friday through Sunday, only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio. Celebrating their 30th year, our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is going big.
That's right, Austin. Sports bettors can win a new truck, get the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus, and even get up to 30 risk-free bets.
Touchdown! BetUS also has a 150% casino sign-up bonus.
Blackjack, now you're talking, Austin. They also have live dealers and live betting on sports, including racetrack.
Get started today at BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Mom, we're out of potato chips. Teenagers, they'll eat you out of house and home, kind of like health insurance, which can take a big bite out of the family budget. Fortunately, with Farm Bureau Health Plan's Core Choice coverage, we can save $3,600 a year compared to the leading competitor. And we've got better coverage with a lower premium, lower deductible, free telehealth visits, and access to one of the largest networks available.
Can we order pizza?
Visit FBHP.com or your local Farm Bureau office today.
Anyone want to tell me what happened?
Did you miss any of today's show?
It's okay. It's fine. Don't worry.
Subscribe to the Stillman and Company podcast on Apple, Spotify, and other podcast platforms, or by going to thegamenashville.com.
All right, I'll give it a shot.
You're listening to Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
What do you think of the way Ryan responded to last week?
That's what Ryan's done. You know, one of the tougher players on our team. I know we got a bunch of tough guys, but he stood in there and got knocked out of him a couple times late, and I respect the heck out of it and kept battling, hit some shots, which was great to see down the field.
I already knew Ryan was going to come out and respond the way I knew, he did today. So it wasn't no worry in me. He was high energy all week, and he was ready to go to work, and I knew it would show here on Sunday when he went out there and played.
Felt great coming into the day. Was able to flush what happened last week by Wednesday after I talked to you guys, and then have a great week of practice. Got prepared and was ready to roll coming out here today.
There you go. That was Ryan Tannehill. I do love the fact that he was like, I was really able to move on after I talked to you guys on Wednesday. So maybe the media should be allowed to ask more questions about the game that happened on Wednesday instead of him shutting it down. But that's neither here nor there. Ryan Tannehill was fabulous yesterday throwing the football. Even if you are one of the biggest Tannehill haters out there, 20 of 24, 246, one touchdown, another touchdown on the ground, a quarterback rating of 123.3. Ladies and gentlemen, offensive game ball goes to Ryan Tannehill. What a bounce-back performance for Tannehill. And there's a lot of you that thought that wasn't possible. A lot of you that thought that he was done after last week, that there was no way that he was going to be able to get it all figured out. Game ball to Tannehill. And I don't think there's any question on offense as to who should get the game ball. Ian, you got a problem with that one yet?
Nope.
I don't think he's ready for the retirement home just yet. And I would say, not only were the two deep throws, the one to Burks and to Moore, not only were those impressive, the way he stood in there, he completed a ball to Hopkins on a 3rd and 4 and really took a shot, in the pocket that led to a personal foul of roughing the passer. I thought Tannehill took chances. I thought Tannehill was insanely accurate with the football. I thought Tannehill on the option play, which was a fabulous call by Tim Kelly, which we'll get to in a second. I thought Tannehill on the option play read it perfectly. I thought that he set it up with Spears perfectly. I thought Tannehill was just fabulous. I thought he was absolutely, again, he didn't throw for 500 yards like Tua did against the Chargers, but that performance, 246, that's what we want out of Tannehill. And most importantly, no turnovers. That's what we want out of Tannehill. And I thought one of his best passes of the day was in overtime. I thought it was a good call by Tim Kelly, but the rollout to DeAndre Hopkins right on the sidelines to set up the field goal, I thought that was beautiful. Ryan Tannehill gets a game ball. Defense was a little tough. Roger McCreary gets a game ball on defense. Now, it was tough. The defense got no turnovers, and Simmons had a huge sack, and Tier Tart, boy, I tell you, he gets better and better every game. There was one play where Corey Lindsley, the center, who's a $10 million center, Corey Lindsley, the center for the Chargers, snapped the ball, and Tart just worked him and made a tackle in the backfield. Tart was excellent. And then Harold Landry, come on down, gets back into the sack column with a huge sack on Herbert on 3rd down. But I'm going to go with McCreary. I thought that, for the whole game, McCreary was excellent in run support, and the Chargers didn't throw at him. You know, we talked about this on Friday after watching the tape of last year's game. McCreary had an excellent performance, and they had that great interception against the Chargers. They really didn't throw to him, and when they did throw to him, he was right there, including the ball on the sidelines to start overtime. With he and Murphy Bunting had great coverage on Mike Williams, so McCreary was good in run support, and he was great again. You know, when it comes to in the back end, Titans got a couple of coverage sacks there. Roger McCreary gets a game ball. And it's only 2 games this season, but he's had a good 2 games, and I think is becoming a well-rounded and dependable corner. Special teams. Kearis Jackson gets a game ball. Now, J.K. Scott, the punter for the Chargers, is a very, very good punter. And some of those balls he hit yesterday, and I was watching them, I mean, they hang in the air, and he's got guys bearing down on him. And I thought that he put some serious pressure on Kearis Jackson to catch the ball, and Jackson did it. Jackson knew the right time when to call for a fair catch, and Jackson knew the right time when to return the punt. And needing a field goal in overtime, Kearis Jackson's 11-yard return put the ball at the 39-yard line, and the Titans' average starting field position was at the 23. So that 11-yard punt return puts it at the 39-yard line. Now you just need 30 yards to kick a field goal to win the game. I thought it was excellent. And Nick Folk's been good. But, again, this is the game ball for this game. You know, he didn't hit from 48, 52, anything like that. Now, he's made all of his kicks, and I want him to keep kicking it, and I want him to keep making it. And if he keeps kicking the way he's kicking, he's going to get some game balls this season. But, man, I was proud of Kearis Jackson. So he gets the special teams game ball. And I'm going to give a 4th game ball. I think Tim Kelly gets a game ball for his performance against the Chargers. We talk about Tannehill having a bounce-back performance. Tim Kelly, I thought, had an excellent bounce-back performance. I counted 9 good play calls, you know, where I looked at it and I said, wow, that is a great play call. 9 times. I wrote that in my notes. I thought he had a great feel for the game, and he dialed up the big shots, the Tannehill touchdown run. See, that was set up perfectly by Tim Kelly. Out of the same formation with Spears and Henry, they had run the ball with Spears to the left twice. The 3rd time, they fake it to Spears, Tannehill and Henry go off the right. He set it up perfectly, and it resulted in a touchdown. And when I talk about feel for the game, the one thing that Tim Kelly, I think, is realizing is how much faith Tannehill has in certain guys and how much faith they can have in certain guys. For instance, they get down around the goal line, and he dials up a play for Nick Westbrook-Akine because that's the guy that Tannehill trusts the most. So I think he learned from his week 1 mistakes. I thought he called a great game yesterday. Tim Kelly gets a game ball. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. A lot of you want to weigh in. 615-737-1025. But again, great bounce-back performance for Tannehill, great bounce-back performance for Kelly, and I thought all in all, good game from the special teams as well. Let's get to your phones. We'll do that next. 615-737-1025 here on the program. Plus, we can all admit it was an ugly win, but it's September. Ugly wins are going to happen. We'll get to that coming up next, and then your phones. Stillman and Company on a Titans Monday, 615-737-1025. This week's Nashville's best deal is Campionis. That's right, Campionis. Taste of Chicago, located at 401 Long Hollow Pike in Goodlettsville. Campionis is family-owned, and it is an award-winning restaurant for Sumner County's best Italian dining and lunch spot. Try out one of their Chicago-style hot dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, lasagna, homemade pasta, and more. Get half off a $20 gift card at thegamenashville.com/deals while supplies last. Again, that is Campionis out there in Goodlettsville. Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
All the big plays.
Rebound, fly out in front, and Saros covers it up.
All the big stories.
Andrew Burnett reportedly hired as the next head coach of the Predators.
All in one place. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
Checkered flag is in the air.
Comparing goalies to running backs.
46-27 Vanderbilt.
Does this group of players need more?
The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Attention all fire and safety line experts. Middle Tennessee's fastest growing fire protection company is looking for experienced service technicians, designers, and sprinkler system experts like you. Tired of working for a large corporate employer? Work for a company where you're more than just a number. Jarrett Fire Protection is owned and operated by Nashville natives and wants to invite you to grow with their amazing team.
Hi, I'm Jason Jarrett, owner of Jarrett Companies. I'm looking to hire experienced sprinkler experts and will offer a sign-on bonus of up to $5,000 for certified professionals. In addition to our great benefits that include a 401k match, PTO, and top pay with annual bonuses, we will also provide you with the top-of-the-line tools, trucks, and equipment that you need to grow your career. Our customer base is large and business is booming with many opportunities for advancement. Give us a call or go online to jarrettfire.com and apply today to become a member of our family and protect our community. That's JARRETT fire.com. Jarrett Companies, where we are above and beyond industry standards.
Hi, this is NFL alumni Tennessee president and former All-Pro linebacker Al Smith. Join me from 1 to 4 p.m. on September 23rd for the Gear Up for Fall event. We will be at St. Luke CME Church, located at 2008 Ed Temple Boulevard in Nashville. There will be music, food, games, health screenings, flu shots, and free NFL alumni giveaways. Adults who are 50 years and older can also get their shingles vaccine. Gear Up Tennessee and join us on September 23rd.
Hey Tennessee, we're Zen Sports, the new sportsbook in town. We listen to your feedback on our competitors, so we designed Zen Sports just the way you wish. Set favorites, search and sort bets, and earn real cash rewards, saving you time and money with every bet you make. Find the bets you want, not those distracting bets that seem too good to be true but rarely are. Best of all, withdraw your winnings in under 24 hours, so take control of your bets. Because with Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and up and in Tennessee to bet.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
The Nashville Oktoberfest is quickly approaching, and now's the time to get your dirndls, lederhosen, and party steins ready. From local breweries to live music and festival artisans, you can't go wrong celebrating this free family fun Germantown tradition. The Nashville Oktoberfest 2023, Thursday, October 5th through the 8th at Bicentennial Mall in Germantown. Prepare yourself for 4 days of brats, beer, live music, and competitions. VIP experience reservations are still available at thenashvilleoktoberfest.com. Prost, y'all!
Green right, box 2, run, double catch. He takes you inside the huddle through the eyes of a quarterback. Wide 85, take! Catch ESPN NFL analyst Tim Hasselbeck every Tuesday at noon as he breaks down the big stories in the NFL.
Buffalo, maybe Miami.
And with the Tennessee Titans.
The Titans might be like, we're interested in a 1-year, $1 million contract.
Tim Hasselbeck is on Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Eli Gold, voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
First down. Off the play fake. Oh, it's an option. Tannehill will keep it himself. Tannehill toward the goal line. Into the end zone. Young legs.
Take me back to Texas A&M.
The Titans have taken the lead. A 12-yard touchdown run by the 34-year-old.
I felt like I was back at West Point. Here comes the triple option. Fake it to Spears, and then Tannehill takes it out. The receiver in college. Nice play design and execution after they get the first down on the couple of penalties.
There you go. That was Tannehill with the wheels. For everybody out there, that he looks old. He looks old. I told you guys last week, I'm like, I don't know what that means. He looks old. I mean, it'd be one thing if he had a pop gun arm and he couldn't. He was overthrowing guys. He looks old. Didn't look old on that one. Phone lines driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com on a Titans Monday. Joel from Woodbury texted in at 2:04 to say, Titans still suck. So I'm not sure that he really, I don't think we had gotten into the meat of the program at that point. He just wanted to say that. Here's the thing. The Titans are going to win ugly. It's September. Most people in the NFL this time of year win ugly. These games are ugly. Last night's game was ugly. Now, if you got to play Zach Wilson every week, although Zach Wilson did torch you, I think he may have had the best game of his career in that 2021 performance where you absolutely crapped the bed at the Jets. But if you get to play Zach Wilson every week, then it might be a little different. But I watched all those games in the late window yesterday. I mean, they were ugly. That Giants-Cardinals game, ugly. Even the Rams and the Niners, I mean, it was still ugly. Now, it didn't come down to one or two plays at the end, but that's because the Niners are not one of those teams that's going to win ugly every week. The Niners are one of those teams that's going to win 13 or 14 games. You are not. You win ugly. You've always won ugly. You will always win ugly. Think about the games you won last year, right? You beat the Raiders at the end on a 2-point conversion the Raiders didn't get. You beat the Colts by hanging on for dear life. You won a game at Washington last year where they had the ball at the 1-yard line and they were about to punch it in for victory, and Carson Wentz just threw the ball right to David Long Jr. So you win ugly and you lose ugly. But that doesn't mean you suck. Teams that suck in the NFL lose games by 40 points. You don't lose games by 40 points. You didn't lose games by 40 points last year. You went on the road to Kansas City last year with Malik Willis at quarterback, and the game ended up in overtime. Miami might have the best offense in the NFL. Miami might end up being the number 1 seed in the AFC. I mean, with their play calling and their weapons on offense, I mean, that they have the mix of a special team. They've got 2 edge rushers. They've got a solid defense and an electric offense. Miami actually beat this team that you just beat by less points than you did. Kansas City is 1-1. They lost to an NFC team and they beat a non-divisional AFC team. You're 1-1. You lost to an NFC team and you beat a non-divisional AFC team. Kansas City's point differential is +7. Yours is +2. There's really not much of a difference there. This is going to be the way things go. Evan says, we get it, Jared. 1 play here, 1 play there. I don't think you guys do get it. Because last week, you guys wanted to burn the whole, you wanted to tank for Caleb Williams last week. This week, we got another guy text in that Joe says, it feels good to win again. I think this team will do more. I think that this win will do more for this team than just make the fans feel better. There's something about winning that gets streaky, especially after being down since last year's half of a season. To go 7-10 was heartbreaking, and I think after this win, the team will gain the confidence needed to actually trust the process, to trust each other, and continue to build on this win. Since they found a way to win now, I think they will go on a streak for the next couple of weeks. I don't think that. And I know that the other texter said, we get it, Jared. 1 play here, 1 play there. Here's this texter saying, this win, they're going to go on a streak, and this team is going to take the momentum, the positive feelings from the win on Sunday, and because of those positive feelings, they're going to go on, I don't think that's the case. I think they're going to play Cleveland this week, and I think they're going to make a handful of mistakes, and I think they're going to make a handful of really, really good plays, and I think it's going to be 1 play here or 1 play there or it's 3rd down and 7 with the game on the line, and can you keep Myles Garrett from getting to your quarterback? And it's going to be that way every week. I'm trying to think, when's the last time the Titans blew a team out? I think you have to go back to the 21 season and that game that Jacksonville came in here where Urban Meyer, the reports that he kicked that player came out that week. And, he looked like a corpse coaching on the sidelines. I think that's the last time the Titans blew somebody out. They're not going to do a lot of this. Caleb says, I think Dylan Radins should get some love. That the guy that started was getting killed, and when they swapped to Radins, the sack slowed down, and the Titans still ran the ball. I mean, I thought Radins was okay. Like, when I watched the tape, but I thought he was fine. I didn't think that he was very good. I didn't think that he was very bad. And what's crazy to me about the Titans' offensive line, and it feels so different watching it in the stands and then watching it, watching the TV copy. And then I do want to watch the offensive line on the All-22 just to get a better vantage point on that. But Andre Dillard, on some of these running plays, Andre Dillard has excellent blocks. And then on some of these running plays, Andre Dillard stinks. It is wild to me. Watching Andre Dillard, I mean, it is some plays, he just freaking gets out there and he's 7 yards down the field mauling a guy. And then other times they run the ball to the right and the linebacker runs right around him and tackles Derrick Henry from behind. I thought Radins was fine. I think Radins is a replacement level NFL player. I don't think that your fortunes changed because of Dylan Radins. Now, was he better than the other guy? Good. I could have been better than the other guy. The other guy just let the guy just run at Tannehill and hit him on fourth down. I'm not sure, that. And a texter says, no idea how good Radins was, but all I know is the offensive line got better when he went in the game. That's like the people that just look at, they won, so this must have been. A couple of years ago, Dylan Radins played against the 49ers at left tackle. And we all held our breath because the better of the two Bosa brothers was playing for the Niners. And he was going to line up at left tackle, and Radins was going to be out there. And afterwards, everybody was like, he played great in that game. And Vrabel was like, yeah, I'm glad Dylan could be a part of our win. He didn't want to tell you that he didn't really do anything. But he didn't really do anything. And yesterday, there were some where I'm like, 75 didn't block. Or there was one where they ran to the right, and I want to say Henry got tackled in the backfield, and 75's just laying on the ground. He just got whipped right off the ball, and, it's going to happen, but I'm not getting overly excited. I'm not getting overly excited about whether or not he, went Dylan Radins, he did it. I didn't listen to Robbie and Joe today. Did Robbie and Joe do that? It wouldn't surprise me if Joe did.
Do what now? I'm sorry.
Dylan Radins, he's the X factor here. He's the man.
Oh, I think they were definitely giving their props to Dylan Radins for stepping up and becoming that swing tackle and swing offensive lineman.
Well, he didn't play tackle, so
he played guard. That's true.
That's, a little bit of a difference there.
Just the, I think they did praise him a little bit this morning from what I heard.
By the way, speaking of the guard position, this is going to be a self-serving minute. So if you hate me, then I guess, sorry. We broke the story on Saturday of Peter Skoronski having an appendix issue. And then I'm reading the paper in the Tennessean, and it's like NFL Network reported. NFL Network reported that on Sunday morning. We reported Saturday afternoon that Skoronski had an appendix issue. And I think there's some of the local media, they just don't want to say, and Jared got it right. But if you don't toot your own horn, nobody else will. So, just saying, we got that one right on that front. And when it comes to Radins, he is not Skoronski. Now, if you want to have the discussion when it comes to Radins about, hey, would they be better off sticking with Radins at left guard and putting Skoronski at left tackle, I'll have that discussion. That is a conversation I'm willing to have. But, if you want me to give a game ball to Dylan Radins, you're out of your mind. 615-737-1025 is our phone number here, 615-737-1025. If you want to weigh in on the program, one texter says in 2021, the Titans blew out the Kansas City Chiefs at home.
And they beat the Dolphins that year. Pretty
I think
bad.
They did, and I think the Dolphin game was after that Urban Meyer game.
It was. It was the second to last game of the season. I just looked. It was like 34-3 or something.
So they did blow them out. So that one's on the table. Okay, there's one thing yesterday Vrabel did that, he didn't get asked about it after the game. He didn't get asked about it at his press conference today. And it was truly the stupidest thing I can remember Vrabel doing in a long, long time. And it has to be mentioned. It has to. It cannot go unpunished. That's next. Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical here on the program. It is starting to get a little cooler outside, which for right now is a relief, but it's going to get cold soon as well. And so it's time to start thinking about your heating system. And you do not want to experience the breakdowns when that first temperature drop happens. So it's time to get your heating tune-up taken care of. Lucky for you, it's a happy half-off month at Hiller, and tune-ups are 50% off. This month, Hiller is making it easier than ever to tackle necessary home replacements by giving you 50% off select add-on items. Hiller's work is backed by the Happy You'll Be Your Services Free guarantee, and I know that because I use Hiller at my home. Not only do I use Hiller at my home, but I love Hiller. And Hiller offers convenient, quick online booking so you can select the appointment time that works for you and get an instant confirmation. That's Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical, proud supporters of the Preds, the Vols, and Vandy. Hiller! Call the Happy Face truck today.
Nashville Sounds Baseball lives on 94.9 The Fan. Catch every pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Every hit.
That's a base hit.
Every run.
Looking up, it's gone.
On your home for Sounds Baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Real estate investors, get ready for an incredible opportunity. D&M Development is thrilled to announce the Phase 1 presale of 16 non-owner occupied short-term rentals in Nashville's exclusive resort-style community, the New Cumberland. Nestled between Germantown and East Nashville, this exceptional location offers stunning views of the city and the Cumberland River. Each unit features spacious kitchens, 4 bedrooms, and 4 baths, providing the ultimate luxury experience for your guests. Resort-style pools and a wide range of amenities. Don't miss out on this exclusive investment chance. Visit thenewcumberland.com for more information and secure your spot in this extraordinary community.
Vanderbilt Commodore fans, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, along with 94.9 The Fan, is your new home for broadcast of games and the Commodore Hour on Monday evenings. Catch all the action for football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball all season long. Go Doors!
Are you in the mood for authentic Chicago-style Italian food? Italian beef sandwiches, Vienna Chicago-style hot dogs? How about homemade pasta, chili, meatballs and marinara sauce, and more? Well, you need to check out this week's Nashville's Best Deal. Campione's at 401 Long Hollow Pike, Goodlettsville, Tennessee. Family-owned and featured on Tennessee Crossroads, this is delicious Italian-style food right here in Tennessee. Check them out now at thegamenashville.com/deals. Get half off now while supplies last.
The Game text line is driven by Wilson County Hyundai. Online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Be a part of the conversation. Call or text the Game at 615-737-1025.
If you order food for work, you know the drill. It's a whole bunch of needs and requests piled on top of each other. Make sure the food's on time and on budget. Make sure everyone's dietary needs are taken care of. Make sure everyone's happy. And that's why you should make sure you use EasyCater. It's one simple, reliable platform for all your food for work needs. Need to make sure food for work actually works? Simple. Make sure it's EasyCater. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at EasyCater.com.
Nashville's radio version of The Odd Couple.
You would trade for the third pick? Yeah, I don't know that I would do that.
Robbie Stanley and Joe Rexrode are Robbie and Rexrode.
I'm here for the discussion. I'm not. It's a good one.
It's absurd. Robbie and Rexrode. Mornings from 6 to 9.
Win the games. When they get in the playoff, they'll have a chance to.
Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Strong opinions and a strong personality on your drive home. This is Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
3rd down and 5. They're 1 for 1 so far in 3rd down.
31.
Spears re-enters the game. Hopkins spread out to the far side. And they give it to Spears. And Khalil Mack slowed him up behind the line of scrimmage, and he was able to get forward for 1. Interesting play call there.
Is it a call that you're thinking it's 4-down territory because you're at midfield and you love your defense?
I think that's what it is, James. They talked about it beforehand. There's no hesitation here. Going forward on 4th down, even though they didn't gain any yardage, so they knew going into that 3rd down call, we have 2 downs here to get the first down.
Yeah, they were hoping that run would have been a little cleaner going up the middle, but it wasn't.
9 of 17 on 4th downs last year.
Yeah, DeAndre Hopkins singled one-on-one on the outside.
Gives a thumbs up. He's all set.
31 Linda, low, 31 Linda.
Chargers showing blitz from the outside. Tannehill's under pressure, and Murray wraps him up and takes him down. Well, that's an exclamation point based on last week for Kenneth Murray.
So do you guys remember that first drive for the Titans? and it's 4th down and 4 at the Charger 46, and the Titans go for it, and Tannehill gets sacked, and then the Chargers go down the field and kick a field goal, and Vrabel just gave the Chargers 3 points? Because he was not asked about that decision after the game, and he wasn't asked about it today. And this has to be addressed. Mike Vrabel has to be shamed for what was truly a horrendous coaching decision. And if they had lost this game, it would have been 4 hours of this program talking about that decision. And I texted Joe today about it because I was going to see if he'd ask Vrabel about it. And he was like, I don't care that they didn't. I didn't think that was a bad call. I'm like, okay. So we all know you're a defensive team, right? Like, we know the Titans' strength is their defense, correct? And we know that the Titans' strength is not their offense. Okay, we're all on the same page. So you're at the Charger 46. You can put that ball down at the 2-yard line. Now, Stonehouse doesn't do that. All Stonehouse can do is just bang the crap out of the ball. But most teams can punt the ball down to about the 4 or 5 yard line, or punt it high enough so that you can catch it at the 1 or the 2 yard line. So then you put your good defense back on the field, and you make Justin Herbert drive 99 yards if he's going to score on you. The way I look at it is, okay, punt on 4th down, pin them deep, go 3 and out again. You went 3 and out on the first drive. Go 3 and out again with your big boys, Autry and Simmons and Tart and Landry, and get them 3 and out. And now you get the ball at like the Charger 42. And now you only have to go about 15 yards, kick field goal. Because again, you're a defensive team. But instead, Vrabel decides to go for it on 4th down. And because Tannehill got sacked for a loss of 6 yards, the Chargers take over at midfield. The Chargers had to move 39 yards to score 3 points. And you may say it was one decision, and I know you guys didn't agree with it when it happened. Now, I think some of you have probably forgotten about it because they ended up winning the game, so it's not that big of a deal. But in these games, every game that you play, a decision like that is so critical to winning or losing. The game went to overtime. And your coach just handed the other team 3 points. And I am trying to figure out on what planet that was a good idea. James Lofton and Jay Feely are like, well, maybe this is a good play call to run to gain 1 yard on 3rd and 5 so that you can go for it in 4-down territory. I'm like, did you guys watch Titans last week? Hell, Vrabel wouldn't go for it on 4th down at the end of the game last week right by the goal line. So, this is what just freaking pisses me off, is that Vrabel is going to get no criticism about this outside of this segment on this show. And it very easily could have cost you the game. And then Vrabel will get up there when they lose, and he'll preach accountability, and he'll talk about how we've got to be better, and we've got to do this, and we've got to do that. But does Vrabel know that decision almost cost them the ball game yesterday? Ian, what'd you think when you saw the Titans run to the line at 4th and 4 at the Charger 46?
I was a little bit surprised, just considering where they were on the field. Wasn't really deep enough. I would be probably fine going for it if you were a little bit further into Chargers territory, but it was a little too close to midfield for my liking.
I mean, it was just, and again, you're a defensive team. Like, you want to keep the score low. And what do you do with that? You punt. That's what defensive teams do. They punt and they play field position. Because the thought is, hey, if the Chargers have to go 99 yards, the Chargers had 11 plays to go 39 yards. That's how good your defense is, that the Chargers had to have the ball 11 plays. And it was really one big play where Herbert threw the ball to Mike Williams and Trey Avery missed the tackle. But they had to move the ball 39 yards. 39 yards in order to score. Put them on the 2. Now they have to move 75 yards if they want to score. And the idea is that with your good defense, you get a sack, You get a strip sack and he fumbles the ball. You get a tip ball in the air and you get an interception. And all of a sudden now the ball's at the 22-yard line. And it's easy for you to score when you're a defensive team. And somebody explained to me how Vrabel could go from the last drive of the last game where it's a 4-point game in the fourth quarter and it's 4th and 6. And he's like, no, I can't put my offense out there. And in the next game, in a tie game against an explosive offense with a $50 million quarterback, he's going for it at midfield without his left guard. Somebody explain that to me. And you can't, because it doesn't make any sense, because it was stupid. And so I feel the need to mention this, because even though I'm happy they won and I know bad mistakes are going to happen and not everybody's perfect and I'm not perfect, but I have to mention it because we have to recognize, like, if Vrabel's going to hold everybody else accountable, he has to be accountable for almost losing them the damn game yesterday. And when they kicked that field goal to tie that game, I'm like, boy, I missed those 3 points. Boy, those 3 points, I can't believe you just gave them 3 points. One texter into the text line, and I think I lost it. Maybe they texted back in or say, the software, who knows. One texter into the text line was like, can't anybody at this station be happy for the Titans winning the game? Who said we weren't happy? I mean, I don't understand. Like, I think I'm pretty happy. I mean, I was incredibly happy walking out of the stadium yesterday that the Titans won the game. Where'd that text go? I guess the texter texted back in something else. I don't know. But it was like, can't anybody at this station, they hadn't won a game in 8 tries. They finally win, and everybody's complaining, and I was actually talking to somebody yesterday, and I was like, I do wonder what the show would be like the day. Somebody asked me, they said, is it better for the show if the team wins or loses? And the answer is it's better for them to win. I know you guys think that, the phone calls when they lose and the craziness and everything else that sparks more. That's not true. The more they win, the more people want to listen. Because there are so many people that are mad when they lose that they don't want to listen because they don't want to hear people talk about how they lost. So it's always better for the team to win. Just remember that. In sports radio, it is always better. But I said, if the Titans win the Super Bowl, after every game, win or lose, we go over all the things that happened. That was good. That was bad. This has got to get cleaned up. The coach shouldn't go for it on 4th down stupidly like that. We talk about all these things. But after the Super Bowl, like if the Titans win the Super Bowl on that Monday, we're not going to care about, Vrabel, I can't believe he went for it on 4th down to begin the game. It's not going to matter because they won the Super Bowl. So it's like, how are we going to host a show that day? Is it just like, oh, yes, they won the Super Bowl. Amen. The good news is, I think we'll cross that bridge together when we get there, and I hope one day we do. 615-737-1025. A lot of phones to get to on a Titans Monday. 615-737-1025. But I have got to give a shout-out to somebody I was very critical of after Week 1. Who had a much better Week 2 performance. And it's not the quarterback. We'll get to that coming up next. And also, we're going to give away some Thomas Rhett tickets later today on the show. I wouldn't say I'm like a big Thomas Rhett fan, but I am a Thomas Rhett supporter. I think he's a very, very talented musician. So we'll be giving away those tickets later on. Be sure to tune in for Sounds Baseball tomorrow at 6:35 as the Sounds take on the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, the AAA affiliate of the Marlins. Sounds Baseball on 94.9 The Fan, presented by Farm Bureau Health Plans and by Family Leisure.
He knows the ins and outs of the Titans and isn't afraid to give his opinion.
Traylon Burks needs a massive offseason.
He's Jonathan Hutton of Outkick.
I don't see how they make a move without going to Ryan Tannehill.
Catch him every Monday at 10:30 on Chase McCabe and every Wednesday at noon on Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. Hutton is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Hey, it's Jared for PhD Weight Loss. I love the PhD Weight Loss program, and I am continuing to blow past the numbers. That's right. I'm getting close to my maintenance stage, and I did it all while enjoying the summer and traveling on vacation. But now that it's football season, I'm able to lock in on my nutrition thanks to the PhD weight loss program. I feel so much better about being in control of my weight, and I get excited when I continue to see my progress. And what's great is that PhD weight loss provides you 85% of the food at no added cost. That's no pills, that's no injections, that's no crazy workout program, but it is simple nutrition that they help you through. If you're someone who has struggled to lose weight, go online to myphdweightloss.com and check it out for yourself. You can learn about the program, the coaching, and of course, their guarantee. If you don't get within 5 pounds of your target weight by the end of your program, PhD will continue to coach you for free until you do. That's PhD Weight Loss online at myphdweightloss.com.
It's Raymond and Austin. We're back on All-Star Sports Radio. Celebrating their 30th year, our sportsbook and casino sponsor, BetUS.com, is offering a 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets.
It's called Bet Protect, the perfect offer for crazy plays, like the famous butt fumble. It's the GOAT of embarrassing plays.
Really, remember when you bet me you could do a live show with a GOAT as your co-host, and he face-kicked you?
Thankfully, I didn't take the under on that one.
Anyway, folks, get Bet Protect today. The industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus plus up to 30 risk-free bets. BetUS.com, where the game begins.
Blue Raider fans, your home for all the MTSU football and men's basketball action is on 93.3 Classic Hits and 95.1 Classic Hits in the borough. Catch the action all season long with Chip Walters on the call. Go Blue Raiders!
Today's world is filled with many things that can push us to our limit. An upcoming move should not add to that list. Hey, it's Caroline Fenton. And when you choose Black Tie Moving like I did, you get a highly awarded Inc. 500 company. From the free estimate by a local professional moving consultant to the red carpet treatment, they take the stress out of the process. So visit blacktiemoving.com or call 615-437-8401. Mention GAME, G-A-M-E, to score 10% off your next move. Let Black Tie Moving make your next move the best move of your life.
Back in 1949, Dr. Houston began the tradition of treating athletes for common sports injuries. Today, the sports medicine physicians at Houston Clinic Orthopedics continue his legacy. Whether you play at school, in a league, on a professional team, or just enjoy being active, Houston Clinic Orthopedics physicians are there to help you stay in the game. Common sports injuries include tears, strains, sprains, and instabilities of the knee, shoulder, and ankle. Houston Clinic Orthopedics is located where you work and live. Visit tn.houston.com to book your appointment online. When experience matters, trust Houston Clinic Orthopedics.
Now, your Game Center update.
The Tennessee Titans notched one in the win column on Sunday as they got their first win of the season, topping the Chargers 27-24 in overtime. After throwing 3 interceptions and failing to lead a touchdown drive in Week 1, quarterback Ryan Tannehill had 2 total touchdowns and no picks this week versus LA. Tannehill after the game.
I knew last week wasn't who I am as a player, and I knew I was going to bounce back this week. But it's nice to feel that support from your teammates, throughout the week. Wasn't a lot of big conversation or anything like that because they see, how I prepare and how I play. And so I don't think there was ever a doubt that we were going to be able to bounce back. But that support, no doubt, definitely helps build that confidence going into this week.
The Titans travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns in Week 3. Speaking of the Browns, they are taking part in the Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. Cleveland takes on Pittsburgh with kickoff at 7:15 on ABC and ESPN. And prior to that, the Saints take on the Panthers with kickoff set for 6:15 on ESPN. The Chiefs and quarterback Patrick Mahomes have restructured his contract that will pay Mahomes $210.6 million between 2023 and 2026, the most in NFL history during a 4-year period. The Nashville Predators prospects dropped the final game of their Rookie Showcase tournament earlier today, falling to Carolina 3-2. The Preds report for training camp on September 20th. Vanderbilt football dropped a tough one to UNLV over the weekend. They get their SEC schedule started this week when they host Kentucky. Hear the latest edition of the Commodore Hour starting at 6 o'clock on your home of Vandy Sports, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. From the Game Nashville studios, this is Ian Safar.
Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne.
Ross Chastain will be first to finish in the Ally 500 at Nashville Super Speedway.
Nashville's exclusive home for NASCAR. 102.5 and 106.3.
Checkered flag is in the air. Man, this is a win in the cup race.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
where you have a voice.
He had a competent coaching staff. You just play terrible and you keep playing.
And we have strong opinions.
What a whiny freaking crybaby response.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to Superbook Sports, live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. Titans Monday. Titans winners in overtime yesterday against the Chargers. They improved to 1-1. And I have got to give a shout-out. Now, Ryan Tannehill was excellent after his really poor Week 1 performance. By the way, I do wonder if all the texters that were leading the charge as the anti-Tannites, I do wonder if they have decided to continue the criticism or not after yesterday's performance, but that's a different discussion for a different day. I think we got to give some credit to Tim Kelly because I thought Tim Kelly called an outstanding game. Not a decent game, not a good game, but he called an outstanding game. In my notes, I accounted for 9 good calls for Tim Kelly, where even though they were passing, they still had Derrick Henry in the game. And here's why Tim Kelly had a great performance, in my opinion. A lot of times, every offensive coordinator wants to be the smartest guy in the room. Every offensive coordinator, every time they run a play, they want that to be the kind of play that makes you just say, wow. They want what Josh Heupel and Hendon Hooker had last season. They wanted what Arthur Smith had here in 2020. They want what Sean McVay has consistently had when the Rams are good. Why? Because that's what gets you hired as a head coach. So every play, they spend hours locked away in the vault trying to come up with these great plays. And, if I can get this guy into space and I can move this guy here and I can move this guy there and I can... that sometimes they can't see the forest for the trees. That's what happened with your last offensive coordinator. Remember? He wanted to run the end around to Chikakonkwo on 3rd down and 1. He's got the most powerful running back in the NFL. And he wants to run the end around to Chikakonkwo, a rookie in his first game. He tried to outsmart the room. Tim Kelly fell into that in Week 1. And we looked at the stats, and we said 48% of the snaps for Derrick Henry. That is unacceptable. And Tim Kelly got up there on Wednesday and he said, or Thursday, and he said, yeah, I got to call a better game. I got to get Derrick the ball more. I have to put Derrick in there more. I have to this, I have to that. And I told you guys on Thursday after listening to Tim Kelly talk that I was confident that he would learn from his mistakes in Week 1. Playtime statistics. Outside of Tannehill in the offensive line, and you almost always want, unless there's an injury, you almost always want there to be 6 guys on offense who play 100% of the snaps. Your offensive line and your quarterback. That's kind of standard. 5 guys played 100% of the snaps. Dylan Radins played 82. The next guy after that, Derrick Henry at 71% of the snaps. Last week it was 48%. This week it was 71. Now, a lot of times coaches will tell you, and Tim Kelly did this last week, but coaches will tell you that, the reason we got away from Derrick is because the game dictated that. But that was a total bullcrap lie because it was a 1-point game. In fact, you were leading the Saints game almost as much, if not more, than you were leading this Charger game. What happened was, they wanted the big explosive play. They wanted to outthink the room. They wanted to be the guy that would throw, oh, wow, what a play call. Wow, he got him out in space, and he did this, and he did that. And you can't really do that by calling inside zone runs. There's not a lot of, wow, look at what Derrick Henry did. Great call, coach, by handing the ball to Derrick Henry 27 times. There's really not a lot of that in there. But if you want to win, that's what you have to do. You have to call inside zones for Derrick. You have to bounce it outside. You have to fake to Derrick. You have to do all these things that involve Derrick because Derrick's the best player on your team. So instead of looking at the performance in week 1 and saying, oh, no, if Tannehill had hit the throw to Okonkwo, or if Tannehill had hit the ball to Spears, or if Tannehill had done this, or if the line had blocked that, or if this guy had caught this, or if Wesco and Burks don't get called for false starts, if that didn't happen, we would have won and gone on about his business. Tim Kelly went back to the drawing board and said, okay, what do I need to do to give my offense a chance to win? And the answer was common sense. Derrick Henry, faking to Derrick Henry, keeping the defense honest with deep shots, which worked, and moving Tannehill around. You're not going to be able to sit back there like a duck in the pocket all day. So they moved Tannehill around. The play calls that I looked at and I saw yesterday, and I was like, oh, God, I love that play call. Now, I love the 2 deep shots that came off of play action, the one to Moore and the one to Burks. I loved them, just like everybody else. Which, by the way, I was calling for in the pregame show, the play action, take the shot to Burks, which Chris Sanders said, they can't run that. I was like, I said, that they needed to do with Burks what they used to do with Chris Sanders, which is early in the game, fake it to Eddie George, because everybody thinks Eddie George is getting the ball. Fake it to Eddie George. McNair rolls out, throws the ball deep. Chris Sanders beats the DB, touchdown. And Chris told me in the pregame show they couldn't do that, and then they went out there and they did it. And all of a sudden, that changed the game. But it wasn't just those play calls that I sat there and I said, God, I love those play calls. The rollout to Hopkins before the field goal. Instead of hoping that Tannehill can stand back in the pocket and that the line can protect, you just call a simple little rollout, just a little pitch and catch to DeAndre. Who's got the surest hands on the team? Hopkins. Tim Kelly learned from his mistakes in week 1. He's adjusting to the deficiencies that he has with the offensive line in front of him. And I believe that Tim Kelly called an excellent game. I even go back to the option touchdown that the Titans ran. And they set this play up by, out of the same formation twice, running the ball with Spears. Tannehill in the shotgun, 2 backs next to him, and it's a handoff to Spears to the left. And the Titans actually, I believe, got some pretty good yards on that. So they've done it twice. Now they fake it to Spears to the left, and they go to the option with Tannehill and Henry. And there's only one guy back there, and that guy has to make a choice between, am I going to go for the quarterback or am I going to go for the running back? And listen to Derrick Henry explain to you what he saw on that play when it was developed. And I'm telling you, this is what Tim Kelly coached them ahead of time. So he set the play up, and then he ran it at the most perfect, opportune time. Here's what Derrick Henry said about that play.
I figure Derwin would go with me and Ryan would be able to fake it and get north to south. I feel like he did a great job with it, and that's how he got in the end zone.
I just figured Derwin James would go with me. And so, it is 2 guys. It's Derwin James, who's a very good player, and it's Tannehill and Henry. And Tannehill thought the same thing, and Tannehill read it perfectly. I thought Tim Kelly called an excellent game. When I see an inside zone run for Derrick and they gain 1 or 2 yards, and now all of a sudden it's 2nd and 8, I don't think that's the end of the world. I think what a good coordinator has to do is they have to understand what they're working with. They have to understand the fact that you're not going to survive by getting into 3rd and 11. Herbert can stand back there in the pocket in the shotgun on 3rd and 11, and he can dance around a little bit and then fire a strike in there to Keenan Allen. You can't, because you don't have the other receivers that Herbert has, because Tannehill doesn't have the zip that Herbert has. Tannehill's not as mobile as Herbert. So you can't do the same things that they do. Herbert's got a Pro Bowl left tackle in Rashawn Slater. You don't have that. So you can't do those things. And that's where I look at Tim Kelly in week 1, where I think he was kind of trying to kind of jam, the players into the plays that he wanted them to run. And week 2, I felt like he decided, no, let's run the plays for the players that we have. And I thought he did a fabulous job. I mean, some of these calls I think were brilliant. I gave him a good call where they ran out of the shotgun. Spears to left guard for 5 yards on 1st and 10 at the 25 because that play later set up the touchdown run. I mean, again, they get down there inside the goal line, and it's not, hey, let's run some kind of kooky play to trick them to whatever. It's, all right, who does Tannehill trust throwing the ball to the most? Nick Westbrook-Akine. All right, let's get the linebacker out of there and the safety out of there. Let's fake it to Derek, and let's just throw the ball to Westbrook-Akine. Touchdown. I thought Kelly was excellent. 615-737-1025 is our phone number. We'll get into your phones on that if you want to weigh in on Tim Kelly. A lot of you want to weigh in on a lot of stuff, so that's what we'll do. 615-737-1025. Plus, I heard this on the pregame show yesterday. I hear that. I hear when it comes to the Titans, everybody ignoring the most obvious reality, the most obvious truth. The best thing about them, I hear everybody constantly ignoring it or downplaying it or telling me that it doesn't matter or that it's not good or that it's... And the data and yesterday's game does not seem to back that up. We'll get to that next. 615-737-1025 here on a Titans Monday. Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
New home. New energy. Same Blue Raiders.
99 yards. Touchdown, Middle Tennessee.
Catch every game for MTSU on 93.3 Classic Hits. Coach Rick Stockstill is poised to lead his team to yet another bowl appearance.
We're really excited about this opportunity.
Your home for the Blue Raiders is 93.3 Classic Hits and the Classic Hits app.
Your home reflects you, your style, your choices. That's why purchasing a home is not just financially significant, it's personal too. At F&M Mortgage, we understand clients need a loan that's just as personal, one that fits you with service from a local lender who lives right here. Yes, we offer competitive rates and low closing costs, but we also know home financing should be more than just numbers. Come see us at one of our branches or online at myfmbank.com. F&M Bank, banking made easy on purpose. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
It's time for another Kubota Field event hosted by Coleman Tractor of Nashville. Our biggest sales event of the year will take place on Thursday, September 21st at the Nashville Gun Club during the Shooting Hunger Sporting Clays Shoot. Stop by our booth to learn all about Kubota. Zero-turn mowers, utility vehicles, and more. Take advantage of Kubota's competitive financing offers, receive a coupon for up to $250, plus enter to win prizes. Try it and buy it at Coleman Tractor of Nashville during the Shooting Hunger Sporting Clays Shoot at the Nashville Gun Club, Thursday, September 21st. The event kicks off at 7:30 a.m.
The two most sought-after, most prestigious names in bridal jewelry come together for one epic event this weekend at Genesis Diamonds.
Tacori and Verragio, the world's premier designers, are showing off their entire collections. All the latest designs, many showcased for the first time ever, with up to $5,000 in savings.
Everyone loves Tacori, meticulously crafted by master artisans in their California design studio. Discover the hidden details and exceptional quality that sets Tacori apart. There's always more than meets the eye with Tacori. Come explore the entire Tacori collection, including all new Tacori fine jewelry, earrings, bracelets, eternity bands, pendants, and more.
If you're engagement ring shopping, this is a once-a-year event you can't miss. Other jewelers aren't even allowed to carry these iconic American-made brands.
Also for this event, Genesis is showcasing an expanded selection of GIA-certified diamonds in all shapes and sizes.
Come join us and take advantage of special incentives, zero-interest financing, and as much as $5,000 in savings. This Friday through Sunday, only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
The saga continues worldwide. The legends of hip-hop and icons of New York, Wu-Tang Clan and Nas present New York State of Mind Tour 2023. Wu-Tang Clan and Nas together live in concert in Nashville this Wednesday at Bridgestone Arena. Wu-Tang Clan and Nas. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
If you order food for work, you know the drill. It's a whole bunch of needs and requests piled on top of each other. Make sure the food's on time and on budget. Make sure everyone's dietary needs are taken care of. Make sure everyone's happy. And that's why you should make sure you use ezCater. It's one simple, reliable platform for all your food for work needs. Need to make sure food for work actually works? Simple. Make sure it's EasyCater. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
We try to stay cool by being on social media.
I'm with it. I'm hip.
Follow us on Twitter at 1025thegame and on Instagram at 1025thegame Nashville.
Hey!
Oh yeah, and like us on Facebook too. You're listening to Stillman and Company on 1025 and 1063 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It'll be first and goal from the 5. It's a gain of 75. They hand it off to Henry. Henry toward the goal line, dives! And they're going to say he's down at the half-yard line. His teammates are saying he got in.
Is the crowd chanting Henry?
Yeah, they were.
I think they are.
They're like, don't keep it simple, stupid. Right? Give the ball to Derrick Henry.
Oh, man, they are the offensive coordinator down here.
They're still chanting for him.
Second and goal. He tries again. He leaps his big body across the goal line. Touchdown, Titans. And they are proud of themselves, let's just say.
Oh, yeah. The fans all made good calls on that. We're going to run Derrick Henry on first down. No, we're not. We're going to fake it to him.
That looked like the really good Titans offenses of old. When you had A.J. Brown and you could go down the field and hit those big plays and then come back with the power of Derrick Henry and then capitalizing and scoring a touchdown when you get the opportunity, first and goal.
Great job, fans. Great play calls by the fans, says James Lofton on the broadcast yesterday. And I agree. Great job by the fans to recognize what the Titans need. Now, I do not get this. For years, I have not understood this. And there was a third down where the Titans ran the ball short with Tajay Spears, and they got it. And Derrick Henry was out of the game. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing? But remember last year when Todd Downing played these same Chargers, and on 3rd and 2, Todd Downing took him out of the game? And James Lofton, who was also calling that game, said, I don't know why you take Derrick Henry off the field. And then he got up there on Thursday and tried to give excuses for why he did it, but it doesn't really matter. And last week they took Derrick Henry off the field for entire drives, and they tried to give excuses for why and it doesn't really matter. And every executive around the league says, oh, yeah, I can't win with a running back, and nobody's interested in Derrick Henry, and there wouldn't be a market for him if they tried to trade him. And I get that. And even yesterday on the pregame show, I got Derek Mason and Chris Sanders telling me that Derrick Henry is not the best player on the offense. And I'm like, you guys are crazy. So inside the game report, they have a thing called the miscellaneous statistics report, where they take the 10 longest plays for each team. So I went back and I looked this up. I looked up every single play in the top 10 that the Titans ran for the biggest gaining plays the Titans got yesterday. And remember, the Titans on offense, 48% of the snaps for Derrick Henry in week 1, 71% of the snaps in week 2. So it is obvious that Tim Kelly made the effort to get Derrick Henry on the field more. The number one play the Titans had was Tannehill's deep pass to Treylon Burks. Derrick Henry was in the game. It was a play-action pass. Fake to Treylon Burks. Fake it to Derrick, throw it to Burks. The second biggest play was a 49-yard completion to Chris Moore. Off of play-action. Fake it to Derrick, throw it deep. The third biggest play was a Derrick Henry run for 23 yards. So obviously Derrick Henry was in the game there. The fourth longest play was really only a 14-yard gain, but you technically got 21 yards out of it because they hit Tannehill after the play for a pass or for a roughing the passer. But Henry was out. It was a 3rd down and 4, and he hit Hopkins for a gain of 14. And Henry wasn't in the game on that. And I don't have a problem with Henry not being in the game on 3rd and 4. 3rd and 8, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 4. If you know, if it's clearly you're not going to run it, then faking it to Henry doesn't do you any good anyways, so I'm fine with that. 1st and 10, Titans gain 20 on a throw to Okonkwo. Play action to Henry. Tannehill to Nick Westbrook-Akine for 14 yards. Derrick Henry was in the game. Then they gained 14 yards on a handoff to Spears. Henry wasn't in the game there. Tannehill, pass complete to Hopkins for a gain of 14 yards in overtime that set up the game-winning field goal. Derrick Henry was in the game. Tannehill on the touchdown run for 12 yards option with a fake pitch to Derrick Henry. Again, fake it to Derrick. And then Tajay Spears ran the ball for 11 yards without Henry. So of the top 10 plays that the Titans gained yards on, even though 6 of them were passes and only 1 of them was a run with Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry was in the game for 7 of them. Almost every single one of the big passes the Titans hit yesterday was off of play action for Derrick Henry. Why? Because the Titans' best offense is either A, giving the ball to Derrick Henry, or B, what's B, Ian?
Fake it.
Faking to Derrick Henry. And I don't get it when all these coaches that make all this money and are so much smarter than me and have so much more experience are sitting there saying, oh, no, you can't give. Derrick Henry's not the same anymore. Derrick Henry's not running the ball the same. Derrick Henry's not good out of the backfield. Derrick Henry's this. Derrick Henry's this. All I ever hear is bitching about what Derrick Henry can't do. But I never hear the acceptance of what Derrick Henry means to your team. And I don't get it. It's like we don't watch the same games. And people say, well, Derrick's not the same Derrick that he was before. Have you seen the offensive line? Let's compare the offensive line 3 years ago with the offensive line this year. A.J. Brown is a top 7 receiver in this league. He's not on your team anymore. So the talent around Derrick is significantly worse, right? And the Titans' offensive line's terrible. It's the definition of you get what you pay for. They're not spending any money on the line. They got a Scarbini off the street at right tackle. They got a guy considered a bust at left tackle. They got a guy that you busted on playing left guard yesterday. They got a 275-pound center. And they got a backup playing right guard. That's why Derrick's not having the explosive runs. The other team's got 9 guys at the line of scrimmage. The fact that Derrick runs the ball as well as he does, I think, is a tribute to how good Derrick is. And you can't tell me that faking it to Derrick Henry doesn't work. When the Titans gained 70 yards on a play action pass to fake to Derrick, they gained 49 yards on a play action fake to Derrick. They gained 20 yards on a play action fake to Derrick. They scored a touchdown running the option on a fake pitch to Derrick. Every time Derrick Henry is in the game, and it is not an obvious passing situation. So if it's 3rd and 11, you have my permission to take Derrick Henry out of the game. It's not going to do you any good to have Derrick Henry out there on 3rd and 11. Although Derrick is, I know he's not a good route runner, and he's not a smooth pass catcher, but if you get Derrick the ball out of the backfield and he's got some space to run, he looks like Derrick running the ball to me. But again, if it's not 3rd down and 9, Derrick Henry should be in the game. Because every time Derrick Henry's in the game, I understand he doesn't have Tyreek Hill's speed. I get it. But he's never had Tyreek Hill's speed. Every time Derrick Henry is in the game, the other team's defense thinks about Derrick Henry. The other team's defense is worried about Derrick Henry. And it doesn't matter if Josh Dobbs is the quarterback or if Malik Willis is the quarterback or Ryan Tannehill or Mariota or Jared Stillman. It doesn't matter. And yet all these offensive gurus that get paid all this money sit back every week, take Derrick off the field, and then explain to us on 3rd and 2, well, I got Chig matched up on a linebacker, so I figured that'd be better than giving the ball to Derrick. There is nothing that is more effective for the Titans than either running the ball with Derrick or faking the ball to Derrick. I don't care if that's not traditionally what everybody else around the league does. That's what you do. And I am optimistic that Tim Kelly got the message by going from 48% of the snaps with Derrick in week 1 to 71% of the snaps with Derrick in week 2. But this idea, I got Chris Sanders telling me Tajay Spears is a better player than Derrick Henry. That is ridiculous. That is insane. That is crazy talk. And it's not you, the fans. Because, again, before Henry scored that touchdown, what did they say on TV? The fans are chanting, Henry, Henry. You know, they throw a 70-yard pass, and the fans aren't saying, pass it, pass it, pass it. The fans are saying, give it to the big dog. Give it to Derrick Henry. Because the fans watch it every week, and the fans get it. I know every other team doesn't want to pound the back, pound the back, pound the back. This team's different. This team's different. And again, you're not an explosive offense. You're not even a good offense. But of your 10 best plays, 7 of them had Henry on the field. 6 of them were passes. 1 of them was a run for Henry. 3 of them were play action fakes to Henry. Common sense, folks. 615-737-1025. A lot of you want to weigh in on this, and so we will. 615-737-1025. Stillman and Company. We roll along. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every day we are live and local.
It will help them get better players. I'm really excited about this defensive front.
And your source for Nashville sports.
They had missed the playoffs.
Those players may end up being practice squad guys.
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Some people put off things that need doing. Not you. Harbor Freight knows you're a today's the day kind of person. And I'm on it kind of person. A bring it kind of person. So if you're rolling up your sleeves today and you don't want to overpay for tools, you're a Harbor Freight kind of person. Whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Football is back, and so are the deals at Electronic Express. Come into any of our convenient locations and save big on 4K TVs from your favorite brands like Samsung, LG, Sony, and more. Electronic Express has huge savings in every department. Computers, appliances, housewares, Bluetooth speakers, and more. Save up to 40% with up to 60 months special financing. Score amazing deals in-store or online at electronicexpress.com. Electronic Express. We make it happen.
The celebration! One of the most beloved comedians on earth, Dave Chappelle, is hitting the road with a tour celebrating his birthday with you.
This Thursday, Bridgestone Arena.
You know who he is. You know what he does. Comedic genius Dave Chappelle. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com.
What a great birthday.
The celebration, Beckett!
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to the Tennessee Men's Clinic in Franklin. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough about them. Their providers took care of me, followed up, and made sure I had a treatment plan that actually works. It's awesome. If I were you, and you're like me, I'd give them a call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. If you're like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra. Results vary.
Seems like everything costs more these days. Food, utilities, medical costs, you name it. But as prices go up, our family budget stays the same. Fortunately, with Farm Bureau Health Plan's Core Choice coverage, we can save $3,600 a year compared to the leading competitor. And we've got better coverage with a lower premium, lower deductible, free telehealth visits, and access to one of the largest networks available. Start saving today at fbhp.com or visit your local Farm Bureau office.
Whether it's college football,
players might end up not going to Alabama or Georgia,
or the NFL,
I think that this team wins the AFC South.
Trevor knows. Join ESPN's Trevor Maddich every Tuesday at 4:30 on Stillman and Company as he gives his opinions on the latest from the gridiron.
I'm going to the team where I can get a ring.
Trevor Maddich brought to you by Houston Clinic Orthopedics, where experience matters, on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Paul Feinbaum and you're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5 The Game.
Here's Ryan Tannehill leading this offense up to the line of scrimmage. He has 26 career game-winning drives. The last one was in December of 2021. Again, they've lost 8 straight games. A first down off the play fake to Henry. Tannehill has time. Going long for his receiver, and he made the catch. Chris Moore, the 30-year-old inside Chargers territory. First target of the day.
You know, Coach Cowher was just talking about the Baltimore Ravens. That's where Chris Moore started his career. We knew he was a tough, gritty player, would block, play special teams. But last year with the Texans, 48 receptions, over 500 yards, he started to blossom. And he is a speed guy, got deep on that last play.
Gain of 49 yards. It'll be first down for the 33.
When you're able to hit a chunk like that, you know, you're not going to have a 15-play drive to score, right? You're able to shorten the amount of plays it's going to take you to get in the end zone and build some momentum. You know, hit a play like that, it opens up some underneath stuff as well. So it does a lot of things for you, and I'm proud of our guys, the way we practice. They're able to hit some in practice, and then those same guys were able to show up on Sunday and make the same play.
There you go. That was Tannehill after the bomb to Chris Moore. And if you listen closely on that, James Lofton was talking about how fast Chris Moore is. Okay. Was it that, or was it the play-action fake to Derrick Henry that set it up? Andrew texts in. Our phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Andrew texts in, and he says, come on, Jared. Come on. Who won the game yesterday, Tannehill or Henry? You know it was Tannehill, so why all the Derrick Henry love? Aaron Brewer, Tannehill, and Andre Dillard were also on the field for all 10 of the biggest plays. I'm just saying. I don't know if you're stupid, or if you're just kind of poking the bear a little bit, or if you're... We could put Ryan Tannehill on another team without Derrick Henry, and I don't think Ryan Tannehill would be the same kind of player. Again, those plays work. Not because Treylon Burks is Tyreek Hill. Not because Chris Moore is Chris Olave. Not because they're burners, because they're not. A.J. Brown's not a burner, and he ran a 4.49. Treylon Burks ran a 4.55. They're not burners. DeAndre's not a burner. Westbrook Akine is not a burner. In fact, the most explosive player on offense is either the backup running back or the tight end. So it's not like you've got a speed threat. You know, Chris Sanders in his prime faster than every receiver that you have. But it's because the defense is worried about Derrick Henry. This goes back to when Henry and Tannehill were free agents in 2020, and the old man said that he's either bringing them both back or he's not interested in either guy. I think it's the same way with Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley in New York. And boy, for their sake, I hope Saquon's not injured seriously, or else it's going to be a bad year in New York. But this is all about Derrick. You know, again, we can put Andre Dillard on the field as much as you want, but Andre Dillard's out there when you're bad, and Andre Dillard's out there when you're good. When you were bad and you scored 15 points in week 1, Derrick Henry played 48% of the time. And Derrick Henry was good in the week 1 game. When you were good offensively in week 2, Derrick Henry played a lot more. Do you guys see the cause and effect here? Come on now. Let's not get crazy here. Texter says, what will I ever do when Derrick Henry is gone? I hope I have a great support system around you. I hope you have a great support system around you. I mean, when Derrick Henry's gone, this team's probably not going to be very good. You guys do realize that, right? Like that Derrick Henry is the heart of this team. I don't understand all of this anti-Derrick Henry sentiment. He's the best player on your team. He's been the best player on your team for the last 5 years. Your coaches have tried to bury him. John Robinson tried to trade him in 2018. Matt LaFleur played David Fluellen over Derrick Henry. And if you guys don't see that when you win, it's because of Derrick Henry, then I can't help you. The second you lose Derrick Henry, unless you've got a system in place, offensively that's ready to roll, the second you lose Derrick Henry, you become a 5 or 6 win team. He's the most important part of what you do. The stats say it. Watching the game says it. And yet everybody's like, well, he's not the same Derrick Henry anymore. He ran for 1,500 yards last season. He was second in the NFL. What does that mean? Derrick was the league's leading rusher in 19. He was the leading rusher in 2020. He was going to be the leading rusher before he broke his foot in 21. He was the second leading rusher in 22. And when he plays more, you score 27 points. When he plays less, you score 15. What am I missing here? Somebody help me out. You crazies, I don't understand. Now, some of you are like, yeah, man, Derrick Henry is the Titans, and this is a great take that you have about Derrick Henry. But, I mean, come on. Texter says, Derrick Henry's great, but saying that Derrick Henry was in for 70% of the snaps and of their top 10 plays when Derrick played roughly 70% of the time doesn't make much of a point. I think it makes a perfect point. You don't hit the bomb to Burks if Derrick Henry's out of the game. You don't hit the bomb to Moore if Derrick Henry's out of the game. You do realize the Titans' offensive line is so bad and their receivers are so slow that you will never convert a 3rd and 13. The only way the Titans will ever convert a 3rd and long is either by throwing it short to Chigakonkwo and him running for a first down, or with defensive holding, pass interference, illegal use of hands to the face, or roughing the passer. You do realize the idea of Tannehill in the shotgun on 3rd down and 13 with a back next to him in Spears and a tight end in the game to help Chip is never going to result in a standard first down. And is it depressing to say that? Absolutely, it's depressing to say that. And do other teams have to think that way? Probably not. But you do have to think that way. And the reason you have to think that way is because you can't block. And not only can you not block, but you also don't get separation from your receivers. So when everybody knows that you're going to throw the ball, you can't throw it. So the only way for you to throw the ball is for you to do it on the running downs with Derrick Henry in the game, where the defense is afraid of Derrick Henry getting the ball. The reason the defense is afraid of Derrick Henry of getting the ball is because if they don't load the box and put everybody at the line of scrimmage, then they're going to be looking at 2nd down and 3. And nobody likes to be in 2nd and 3. That's why. I mean, to you people out there that don't think that this is all about Derrick, you people do not understand the NFL. And that's why Spears is able to run the ball effectively when the Titans are in the shotgun and he's in the game in 1st down and they hand it to Spears and he gets 11 yards because the other team sees Spears in the backfield and Henry on the sidelines and they think it's going to be a pass. Your offensive line is not good enough, whether it's running the ball or pass protection. They are not good enough to look at the other team and say, here's what we're doing, try and stop it. Miami can do that. The Dolphins can look with their passing game. The Dolphins can look at the other team and say, all right, here's what we're going to do. Tyreek's going to go deep. Jalen's going to go underneath. And if you cover that, Dalton Smythe's going to be wide open on the other side. We're going to drop it off to him. He's going to go run up the field for 15 yards. You can know exactly what they're going to do, and it doesn't matter. When the Titans were running for 2,000 yards. Now, they had A.J., and they had Corey Davis, and they had Jonnu Smith, and they would move the ball effectively with those guys. But you could look with Lewan and Saffold and those guys kind of still in their prime-ish, and they're making, 15, 12 million each. You can look at a team and say, we're going to run it right down your throat. You can't do that with Dylan Radunz and Andre Dillard. And you guys know that. The Titans cannot impose their will running the football on another team. What the Titans have to do to be successful, and yesterday was a great example of this, is they have to trick the defense. So when the defense thinks that you're going to run, that's when you have to pass. When the defense thinks you're going to pass, that's when you need to run. Because if it's 3rd down and 9 and Tannehill's in the shotgun, I love DeAndre Hopkins, But you're not going to be able to wait for him to get 9 yards down the field and then throw it to him when he's double covered. You can't do that. I'll give you an example of this. There was a play yesterday where Mike Brown could have had an interception. I believe this is before the Chargers kicked the game-tying field goal. It actually might have been the drive. In fact, I've got my notes right here in front of me. I want to say it was the drive before the game-tying field goal from the Chargers. And on it, it was a 3rd down. And I tweeted this out before the play. You know, I use Twitter so that I can say, like, I said before. And so I tweeted out before the play that, it was a 3rd and 7 from the Tennessee 47. And I said, I bet my house the ball is going to Keenan Allen. And I told you guys after watching the tape of the Dolphins game and the Titans-Chargers last year that when it's a big 3rd down, Herbert's throwing the ball to Keenan Allen. Doesn't matter if he's covered. Doesn't matter if it's a big 3rd down, he's throwing it to Keenan Allen. 1st down, 2nd down, he'll throw the ball to Williams or to Palmer or to the tight ends. Big 3rd down, he's throwing to Allen. And Mike Brown almost had an interception on a ball intended for Allen. And he was able to knock it down. You want to know why Mike Brown was able to do that? Because Mike Brown knew that they were going to throw the ball to Keenan Allen. Because that's what they do. The thing about it is Herbert has so much success with that when Justin Herbert does have that success, that he's convinced, I need to keep throwing the ball to Keenan Allen. You can't do that. You don't have any player that can do, you don't have an offensive line that can protect it. You don't have a quarterback that can move around. But the chemistry is still off between Tannehill and DeAndre. The guy that Tannehill trusts on 3rd down is Westbrook Akina. 3rd down and 12. You trust being able to get the ball to him? So you have to trick the defense. You have to keep them off balance. And I don't understand why most of you can't see that. Although a lot of people, again, in the text line, they're like, no, Derrick Henry's the man, and Derrick Henry's great, and so on and so forth. 615-737-1025. More of your phones here on the program on a Titans Monday, including one of the best developments that a young boy like me could have ever hoped for from the Tennessee Titans. We'll get to that, and I just pulled up the call screener, so if you've been holding, we'll get to your phones because I apologize that I've just seen those. So we'll get to that next. Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Nashville Sounds Baseball lives on 94.9 The Fan. Catch every pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Every hit.
That's a base hit.
Every run.
Looking up, it's gone.
On your home for Sounds Baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, Charlie's, that's where you find me. That southern flavor got me saying, hey, y'all. Yum, yum, have some fun. Share with the ones you love. Don't you want to roll?
At O'Charlie's, we thought you'd enjoy a little country rock and rolls. The warm, buttery, delicious kind. Served free with every meal. O'Charlie's. Oh, that's good.
Yum, yum, have some fun. Charlie's, born in Nashville, and it shows.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can do it now in less than a week. Hey, Willie Donick here. That's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. You don't even have to touch your primary mortgage. You can keep that 3% rate intact. Get just the money you need and pay off all those credit cards or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 166-1781, subject to lender approval.
The saga continues worldwide. The legends of hip-hop and icons of New York, Wu-Tang Clan and Nas present New York State of Mind Tour 2023. Wu-Tang Clan and Nas together live in concert in Nashville this Wednesday at Bridgestone Arena. Wu-Tang Clan and Nas. Get tickets now at livenation.com.
One is a legendary NFL wide receiver.
I gotta be prepared. I have to be ready.
One is a legendary Nashville voice.
You don't have to rely on carrying the ball 250 to 300 times.
And the other has been a legendary trash talker on the playground since the 4th grade.
Nobody is a Pro Bowler on day one of rookie minicamp.
They are Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. Weekdays at 11 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Strong opinions and a strong personality on your drive home. This is Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's been a while since you guys had scored, that many points you did today. Confidence building game maybe for the offense and
Yeah, definitely. It felt good to get in the end zone, getting there multiple times. Different guys getting in there and putting plays together to lead into points. Like you said, it's been a while, so definitely a lot of good things to build off of. A lot of things we can correct, but at the end of the day, it's a positive getting the W and us getting in the end zone, making some plays.
Hey guys, Derrick Henry. Let's go to your phones. Jerry has been waiting patiently here on the program on Derrick Henry. Go ahead, Jerry.
Hey, Jerry, enjoying the show, man. I want to make 3 quick comments, and I'll hang up and let you run with it.
Sure.
First of all, I think Tim Kelly learned that Derrick has to be in the game after last week. Second, I told my wife and the people sitting behind us on the Chris Moore play that play action set that up. And third, Tannehill don't score on that option if Henry's not trailing that play. Have a good day.
Thank you. Agreed. Again, you're not going to hit the bomb on 3rd and 11. You're not going to do that. You're going to hit the bomb when everybody thinks the ball's going to Derrick Henry. The only player who I think the Titans have that can give you a big play if Derrick Henry is not in the game is Chigakonkwo. Spears, maybe, but I'm talking about like you can throw the ball short to Chig and he can knock a couple guys over and run into the end zone with the ball. Like, he can do that. He kind of has that A.J. Brown thing where A.J., as soon as he catches the ball, he becomes a running back. Chig's got a little bit of that himself, too, and had one of those yesterday off of a play action from Derrick Henry, play action fake to Henry with Tannehill throwing the ball, and he ended up having a 20-yard gainer. But, yes, again, Derrick Henry said on the option touchdown that he saw Derwin James and he thought Derwin James was going to go with him. And I think Tannehill thought the same thing. And I think Derwin James was kind of on the island there where if it wasn't Derrick Henry, let's just say it was Julius Chestnut. And I think Chestnut's probably a replacement level player. If that's Chestnut, then Derwin James is going to smoke Tannehill on that play. But Derwin James also knows that if I smoke Tannehill, he's going to pitch it to Henry, and Henry's going to run the end zone for a touchdown. And in that split second where James is trying to figure out what to do, he knows that his most important assignment for the day is Henry. We told you, Derwin James didn't play in the game last year. He's the biggest hybrid linebacker, probably the best hybrid linebacker in the NFL. He had the responsibility of Derrick Henry. Michael's up next on Tim Kelly. Thank you for waiting. What's up, Michael?
Hey, Jared, man. Love your show. You're spitting straight facts. Everything you said's true, and even the previous caller. I just don't think it's that hard to coach in the NFL. Now, here's my issue. Tim Kelly has been aware of Derrick Henry, several years. He's been a divisional rival. You would think Tim Kelly would be all about Derrick Henry. He comes in, right, and he coaches his first game, and the rookie gets more snaps than Derrick Henry. Arthur Smith, let's back up a little bit. Arthur Smith pretty much fell into Vrabel's lap. We got to see his first hire with Downing. We saw what a POS that turned out to be.
Don't forget
and
LaFleur.
Why in the world another offensive coordinator comes in and doesn't understand, put the playmakers on the field? That's coaching malpractice to me, and now I'm starting to turn my attention to Vrabel. I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
I have no faith. Thank you, Michael. I have no faith in Vrabel with offensive coaching. No faith. I mean, he's hired 3 coordinators. 4. He's hired 4 offensive coordinators. One's been really good, who, by the way, had been here for 15 years. One's been really good. 2 have not been good. And the jury's out on Tim Kelly. I'm going to give Tim Kelly the benefit of the doubt, though, just like I did last week. It's a lot easier today to give Tim Kelly the benefit of the doubt than it is, last week when I listened to his press conference and he owned up to the mistakes, took accountability for it. And I really felt like kind of let us in as to where he blamed himself for that performance. And, it's one thing just to say, I vow I'll do better. It's another when the person kind of explains to you what the plan is. And I think that he did do that. And I think that the more comfortable he gets with these play action passes, I think the game got away from him. The New Orleans game. I think the New Orleans game got away from him. Derek was running the ball well. They kept giving Derek the ball, but they wanted to make sure, to maintain their usage and things like that. And so they wanted to get Spears the ball. And so then they wanted to run this play and they wanted to run that play. And they felt like that play gave them a better chance with more speed on the field. So you take Derek off and then you wanted to run this and you practice that play. And it got away from him. And I think this week there was a conscious effort to, hey, let's make sure we get Derek the ball and let's make sure we fake the ball to Derek. And so while I understand being mad that Tim Kelly didn't get it right in week 1, I at least am optimistic that unlike freaking doofus Todd Downing, that Tim Kelly learned his lesson and he's going to be good going forward. I'm optimistic about it. Larry is up next on the Titans offensive line. Thank you for calling and waiting. What's up, Larry?
Hey, what's up? First of all, you need to eat a little crow about the kicker. The kicker's, he might be a phenom, best kicker we've had in a long, long time.
I mean, Larry, he didn't make a kick from plus 45.
I hear you. Anyway, the year the Rams won the Super Bowl, 3 years ago when we were the 1 seed, they weren't the best team. This Titans team is not the best team in the NFL. No one will argue that. But if this O-line can just be average, we got a real good shot at making the playoffs, and anything could happen. And by the way, this offense is clearly different. I thought it was going to be Vrabel, same old thing. It was clearly different last week, and Tim Kelly didn't lose the game last week. Tannehill did, and I'm his biggest supporter, and he gets an A+ this week. Tannehill won the game this week. So if the offensive line can be average and Tannehill can be the Tannehill of a couple years ago, we got a real shot. All I'm saying is glass half full.
Yeah, I don't think it's as binary. Thank you for the call. I don't think it's as binary as Tannehill lost it last week, Tannehill won it this week. I think that all those things kind of play in together, right? Like, so for instance, the ball that they threw to DeAndre Hopkins right before they kicked the field goal with Nick Folk, I mean, that was an excellent play call to get Tannehill on the move, in which Tim Kelly wanted to make sure that they called a passing play that Tannehill would not get sacked on. That's why they had Tannehill on the move. And then Tannehill put a perfect ball on DeAndre right on the sideline. DeAndre made a good catch. So it's not just, okay, well, Tannehill lost it this week, Tannehill won it this week. I don't think it's that simple. I mean, I don't think Tim Kelly helped out Tannehill in week 1. I don't think Tim Kelly did Tannehill any favors in week 1, taking Derrick Henry off the field as much as he did. So I don't think it's that simple. And I just don't believe in that either. It's never one guy. Sometimes it's one guy. But I didn't think it was that way in week 1. A lot of you did, I understand, but that's not how I felt. As far as the offensive line is concerned, they're going to get better. Because the more they play together, the more they gel, the more they... But they're not going to get that much better. Aaron Brewer's not gaining 40 pounds this season. Okay? Chris Hubbard is not going to find talent this year. Now, Skoronski will come back, and that'll be good for them. And, the thing about Dillard that's so frustrating is Dillard has some really good blocks and then some freaking whiffs. And that is frustrating. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025 if you want to weigh in. So where are all the bench Ryan Tannehill people from last week? And how do you feel now? And how should you feel? We'll get to that coming up next after Tannehill's game ball winning performance. Stillman and Company, 615-737-1025, 106 The Game.
1025 and 1063, The Game is live and local.
And now, let's meet the starting lineups.
Robbie and Rex Road, 6 to 9.
Big time performance, best part of the team.
Chase McCabe, 9 to 11.
An unrestricted free agent.
Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace, 11 to 2.
Got the big contract.
The Velvet Touch.
Talking about Hall of Famers.
And Stillman and Company, 2 to 6.
Kept going for it.
And don't forget, we're your home for all things Smashville.
He scored!
Nashville's best sports talk, 1025 and 1063, The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
Nashville's Best Deals is a great place to save cash fast. Get up to half off or more on dining and entertainment at thegamenashville.com/deals. Check back often for new featured deals and save money now at thegamenashville.com/deals.
Hey folks, Joe Rexford here talking to you about PhD weight loss. I had a goal when I went to this program, losing 38 pounds, got down 39, then went past the 40 mark, but I'm in maintenance now, and maintenance is a fantastic plan as well. Keeping the weight off, losing the weight, no pills, no gimmicks, no other suppressants. This was a fantastic plan with a weekly coach call with my coach Rachel. You understand what is going on with your body in this process. The program is designed for you. Then it is tweaked for you. It is a plateau busting program. And if you've tried to lose weight on other programs, you know how it goes. You do it for a while, it might work, then you get sick of it, move on to something else. PhD weight loss does not give you that experience. You are going to stick with it. It's easy to stick with it, and then you're going to keep the weight off. You're going to know this is simple and easy. Again, you have a coach, and there's a guarantee. If you don't get within 5 pounds of your target weight at the end of your program, PhD will continue to coach you for free until you do. Join me now. You won't regret it. Visit myphdweightloss.com.
I have diabetes. I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I have asthma. I'm at risk too.
If you're 19 or older with chronic conditions like asthma, diabetes, COPD, or heart disease, or are 65 or older, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a vaccine that can help protect you against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Even if you've already been vaccinated with other pneumonia vaccines, Prevnar 20 may help provide added protection. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
Now, your Game Center update.
This Game Center update is delivered by Black Tie Moving. The Tennessee Titans notched one in the win column on Sunday as they got their first win of the season, topping the Chargers 27-24 in overtime. It was the team's first win since November of last season. Safety Kevin Byard after the game.
It's great to get a win. I mean, obviously, we're still a work in progress. We're still trying to improve. We still have a lot of things that we can get better at, but it's always better to correct those things when you get a win. In overtime against a really good ball club, like I said, it's a big win for us.
The Titans travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns in Week 3. Speaking of the Browns, they are taking part in the Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. Cleveland takes on Pittsburgh with kickoff at 7:15 on ABC and ESPN. And prior to that, the Saints take on the Panthers with kickoff set for 6:15 on ESPN. The Chiefs and quarterback Patrick Mahomes have restructured his contract that will pay Mahomes $210.6 million between 2023 and 2026, the most in NFL history during a 4-year period. The Nashville Predators prospects dropped the final game of their Rookie Showcase tournament earlier today, falling to Carolina 3-2. The Preds report for training camp on September 20th. Vanderbilt football dropped a tough one to UNLV over the weekend. They get their SEC schedule started this week when they host Kentucky. Hear the latest edition of the Commodore Hour starting at 6 o'clock on your home of Vandy Sports, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. This Game Center update delivered by Black Tie Moving. Use the promo code GAME to score 10% off your next move. From the Game Nashville studios, this is Ian Safar.
Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUC HD2 Laverne. Broadcasting on Alexa.
I appreciate that.
And other smart speakers. 102.5 and 106.3.
And a score!
You can run different offenses.
The doors on the board. Off the field, on the field.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Where you have a voice.
He had a competent coaching staff. You just play terrible and you keep playing.
And we have strong opinions.
What a whiny freaking crybaby response.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to Superbook Sports, live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. We gave out our game balls from the Titans' victory yesterday on a Titans Monday, which we have not done in forever. And Ryan Tannehill got a game ball. And I don't know that you can have a much better stat line than Ryan Tannehill did for the type of football that we ask of Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill, 20 of 24, 246, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and a quarterback rating of 123.3. But I actually, during the break, I looked at the 4 incompletions Tannehill threw. I was just going through these. And I was like, because I know one, he hit Trevon Wesco square in the chest. By the way, Ian, I don't know about you, but I can't stand Trevon Wesco.
I might miss Jeff Swaim.
I mean, he is a worse version of Jeff Swaim.
He has not been a good upgrade from Jeff Swaim so far. Multiple false starts and this drop. Come on, dog.
He's a drive killer. He freaking sucks. So he's driving me crazy. That's a different discussion for a different day. But as I look through all of them, he had 1 incompletion in the first half. And it was a drop in my notes by DeAndre Hopkins. Now, again, all I did for my notes, I watched a game back yesterday, and I'm just writing down the notes as I'm watching it. And so the nugget that I have on a Tannehill incompletion on 2nd and 10 after Trevon Wesco got called for a false start was a drop by DeAndre Hopkins. That's the only incomplete pass that Ryan Tannehill threw in the first half. Ryan Tannehill's incompletions in the second half. Now, some of these were kind of hard because, you know, like one of them, he threw the ball to Westbrook Akine and it was incomplete, but it doesn't count because they called unnecessary roughness, so the play technically doesn't count. One was a drop, or one was incomplete to Treylon Burks, where Treylon Burks slipped. So I'm not sure that you can blame that one on Tannehill. And then there was another one on a failed screen where Tannehill probably should have dirted the ball, but Tannehill still tried to complete it to Henry, and they batted the pass down. And actually, Tannehill, I thought, made a great decision. You know, you remember this one, right, Ian? Where Tannehill batted the ball down.
Oh, yeah, that was pretty good.
So instead of trying to catch it and losing 8 yards or letting the ball hang in the air,
and the
where
D-lineman snag it, yeah.
Yes, Tannehill jumped up like a volleyball player and spiked the football into the ground.
Good awareness there.
That was a great play by Tannehill. So, again, you know, of the drops that they had, or excuse me, of the incompletions they had, a drop by Hopkins, a drop by Wesco, a slip by Burks, and a failed screen that Tannehill knocked the ball down. That's it. That's it. He had a rushing touchdown in which he made a perfect read on that option keeper. Ryan Tannehill was perfect yesterday. He was perfect. Now, I'm sure, you know, they'll look at the tape and that Tannehill could have checked out of this play, or Tannehill could have, you know, got the ball on this one faster, or Tannehill could have this or that. But are you really going to blame Tannehill for the 5 sacks? I don't. All of you, and I say all, that's not true. But last week, I felt like I was the biggest defender of Ryan Tannehill. I even compared myself to Johnny Cochran. I said, I feel like I'm the Johnny Cochran of Ryan Tannehill, which is ironic because after Tannehill blew that Bengals game, I was the leader of the Bring Aaron Rodgers to Town crew. But I didn't think the criticism of Tannehill was as fair as everybody was making it out to be. Did Tannehill have a bad game against the Saints? Hell yes, he had a bad game against the Saints. But I saw all these, they need to move on. They need to tank. They need to play Willis. They need to play Levis. Tannehill stinks. Tannehill's done. Tannehill's awful. Tannehill's this. And Ryan Tannehill was perfect yesterday. He was perfect. Again, drop by Hopkins, drop by Wesco, Burke slips, failed screen. That's it. And so what this tells us is that Ryan Tannehill still has something that he's had over the last 5 years. Tannehill's had great games. Tannehill's had bad games. So has Patrick Mahomes. The thing about Ryan Tannehill is that he has to be set up for success. That's the difference between him and elite quarterbacks. An elite quarterback, for the most part, is the one who guides their team to the success. Ryan Tannehill operates his successful team. So in order for that to work, the receivers have to make plays. Burks and Moore both made big catches yesterday. Westbrook-Akine, a guy that Tannehill clearly trusts more than any other receiver on the team, had a big touchdown grab yesterday. Chigakonkwo is going to have to continue what he did yesterday, where he catches the ball, runs after the catch, and is knocking guys over. And Derrick Henry is going to have to keep being Derrick Henry. They're going to have an offensive coordinator who doesn't look at this Titans team and think, you know what? Let's send 5 guys out into the pass pattern, and let's leave Tannehill there in the pocket to stand back on a 5-step drop and see if he can wait for those receivers to get open. If he does that, he's going to get Tannehill killed. When the Titans had success with Tannehill, I talked to one of the former coaches on the Mike Mularkey staff, and we were talking about the Titans. And the Mike Mularkey coach was very defensive about the success that they felt like they had because they felt like they did it with a backup quarterback, that they felt like Mariota was a backup, and that they didn't have the privilege that the Vrabel staff had with a starting quarterback in Tannehill. And then the coach from the Mike Mularkey staff said to me, and the other difference is Arthur protected Tannehill. And that stuck in the back of my mind. And then we watched Tannehill with Todd Downing. And the 2019 Pro Bowl season and the 2020 probably should have made the Pro Bowl season, number 2 offense in the NFL. The 2020 Tannehill, the 2019 Tannehill, that guy was gone. In 2021, 2022, that guy didn't exist. Because Todd Downing, we all know, could not protect Tannehill the way Arthur Smith could. In week 1, Tim Kelly did not set Ryan Tannehill up for success throughout the duration of the game. He got him hit too often, had him in the shotgun too often. I know he drew up the 2 play calls that Tannehill should have hit, but as far as taking care of him in the game so that he could get confidence, so that he could get in a rhythm, they didn't do it. The Titans, I'll argue, set Tannehill up to fail by not playing him in the preseason. So he takes some snaps at the beginning of December against the Chargers, has ankle surgery, and he doesn't take a single meaningful rep until game 1 at New Orleans in a dome where TD said it's the loudest he had ever heard it, with an offensive line in front of him that the Titans picked up from the local thrift store. They set him up to fail. And that was the point I tried to make. When I watched the tape and I saw unsure Tannehill and I saw the footwork and he didn't know where to go and he was locked in on DeAndre Hopkins like a rookie locks in on one receiver, I'm like, this is a symptom, not a cause. When you draw up plays for Tannehill to take advantage of Derrick Henry, like a play action pass on first down to throw the ball deep down the field, Tannehill has success. When on a gotta-have-it pass to set up the game-winning field goal, Tannehill rolls out of the pocket as opposed to sitting back there like a duck against those pass rushers, Tannehill puts the ball right on Hopkins. And again, this is a rhythm kind of thing. Just like a starting pitcher in baseball. Guy gets in a rhythm, he's much better than a guy who is always trying to scrape and claw through every inning. So for all you people out there that want to sit and call this show and say it's time to bench Tannehill, or you don't like Tannehill, or it's time to tank for Shadur Sanders, or you want to do this, I'm going to say the same thing I said last week. Ryan Tannehill is a symptom. He is not a cause. This week, Derrick Henry played 71% of the snaps, not 48. This week, Tim Kelly had a good feel for the game, called the deep shots at just the right time. This week, Tannehill played a much weaker secondary in the Chargers than he did last week in the Saints. This week, Tannehill was at home and didn't have to operate off the silent count, so the defensive line couldn't fire off the ball at the same time that the Titans were snapping it. All of those things play a little role into why Tannehill was significantly better this week than he was last week, because he's a symptom. He's not a cause. Tannehill gets a game ball for his performance, and this is the kind of performance they need. But when Tannehill gives you this type of performance and you win, it's not the kind of performance that he carried you to victory, because he didn't carry you to victory. Because that's not what he does. This is perfect for Tannehill. 248 yards and 1 touchdown. That's not a good game for Patrick Mahomes. But I don't know if you heard in Ian's update, the Chiefs just decided out of the kindness of their heart to pay Mahomes $200 million. Was it $200 million over 4 years?
210, yeah.
Holy crap. You'll never pay Tannehill that much money, because he can't do it. But what he can do, he did yesterday. So they need to keep setting him up for success. So where's all the boohoo crew from last week? Said he was done, he was washed, it was time to move on, that he stinks. Where are they? And my opinion on Tannehill, you'll say, I used to listen to you yell about Tannehill all the time. My opinion on Tannehill hasn't changed. I don't think Tannehill can win you the Super Bowl. We had a caller call in maybe in the last hour that said something along the lines of the Rams, they weren't the best team in 2021, and this Titans team, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I don't think the Titans can compete for the Super Bowl, but I want to say stranger things have happened. I'm not sure they really have. I mean, Tannehill can't go Eli Manning like Eli Manning did those 2 playoff runs. But I also don't think you're better off playing Will Levis at this point. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. And yesterday, I hope Tim Kelly discovered something that the Titans need to do more often. We'll get to that next. Stillman and Company, 615-737-1025 on a Titans Monday, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
He breaks down every game.
The players are still going to be fine.
And knows the ins and outs of the two-tone blue.
They deal with their own position coaches.
He is ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter Teron Davenport.
It's clear what he's doing.
TD joins every Monday at 1, Thursdays at 3, Friday mornings at 8, and anytime on the Talkin' with TD podcast.
I think that's really cool how he could show both sides.
TD is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Daniel Tosh is back. Sweet Tea Tour.
It is great to be here in America. The greatest country in the world.
This Thursday, Ryman Auditorium. Late show at 9:30 p.m. On sale now. Online at Ryman.com. Don't miss your chance to see Daniel Tosh. Sponsored by PNC Bank and AXS. Proud partners of Ryman Auditorium.
The 2 most sought-after, most prestigious names in bridal jewelry come together for one epic event this weekend at Genesis Diamonds.
Tacori and Viraggio, the world's premier designers, are showing off their entire collections. All the latest designs, many showcased for the first time ever, with up to $5,000 in savings.
Everyone loves Tacori, meticulously crafted by master artisans in their California design studio. Discover the hidden details and exceptional quality that sets Tacori apart. There's always more than meets the eye with Tacori. Come explore the entire entire Tacori collection, including all new Tacori fine jewelry, earrings, bracelets, eternity bands, pendants, and more.
If you're engagement ring shopping, this is a once-a-year event you can't miss. Other jewelers aren't even allowed to carry these iconic American-made brands.
Also for this event, Genesis is showcasing an expanded selection of GIA-certified diamonds in all shapes and sizes.
Come join us and take advantage of special incentives, zero-interest financing, and as much as $5,000 in savings. This Friday through Sunday, only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
This year, Boys and Girls Club of Middle Tennessee celebrates its 120th anniversary. Through time, BGCMT continues to evolve to enable all young people, especially those who need us most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible leaders. Because of your continued support, BGCMT has remained strong and is committed to supporting our youth and solidifying our mission and culture in new exciting ways for 120 years. Visit bgcmt.org today.
O'Reilly. Do you need new wiper blades but aren't sure which ones are right for you? The professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts can help. We'll show you the best options for your specific vehicle and even install your new wipers for free. And right now, save $10 per pair on Bosch Focus wiper blades, plus get 2 times O-Rewards points. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Want to weigh in on the conversation? It's a brain booster. Slide into our DMs. Or just text or call at 615-737-1025. Our phone line is driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. You're listening to Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
What do you think of the way Ryan responded to last week?
That's what Ryan's done. You know, one of the tougher players on our team. I know we got a bunch of tough guys, but he stood in there and got knocked out of him a couple times late, and I respect the heck out of it and kept battling, hit some shots, which was great to see down the field.
I already knew Ryan was going to come out and respond the way I knew, he did today. So it wasn't no worry in me. He was high energy all week, and he was ready to go to work, and I knew it would show here on Sunday when he went out there and played.
Felt great coming into the day. Was able to flush what happened last week by Wednesday after I talked to you guys, and then have a great week of practice. Got prepared and was ready to roll coming out here today.
There you go. That was Ryan Tannehill. Also Mike Vrabel and Derrick Henry on Tannehill's performance. His near perfect performance. Somebody on Twitter, Dustin, says, don't act like you haven't been right there with everyone else hating on Tannehill. Now your hate comes after the Bengals game. Same thing with most fans this year. Everyone had a legit reason to be concerned. I've never seen Tannehill play that poorly ever. I mean, you want to talk about how I felt after the Bengals game? I never once said that Ryan Tannehill was a bad quarterback. I never said that. What I said after the Bengals game is you cannot win the Super Bowl with Tannehill as the quarterback. Ian, in the last year and a half, have I moved off of that premise about Ryan Tannehill one iota?
Not that I can think of.
I have never considered the possibility. You could put Tannehill on the Dolphins with those weapons, and I don't think he's winning the Super Bowl. I don't think that he can win 4 games against elite quarterbacks when his defense isn't going to pitch in perfect shutouts. I just don't think it's going to happen. But that doesn't mean that last week after the Saints game that I was ready to bury Ryan Tannehill, and most of you were. That's the difference. I defended Ryan Tannehill after last week because I didn't think a lot of the issues in the game were Ryan Tannehill's fault. Yeah, he missed some of those throws, but I didn't think that, again, it's not Ryan Tannehill's fault. Derrick Henry played 48% of the snaps. He played 71% of the snaps this week. That's not Tannehill's fault. What's Tannehill supposed to do? He hears the play call, and he hears, Tim Kelly say 91 X right, Zebo, double shrimp, queen, eagle eye, double wide, whatever. And he's like, no. Give Derrick the ball. Can't do that. One texter says, Tannehill stinks. Kirk Cousins was set up to fail against the Eagles. He got killed last year and got killed in that game. He still throws a good ball and he puts up numbers. You're killing me with the symptom and not a cause BS. You're basically saying it's not Tannehill's fault because things aren't perfect around him. Tannehill sucks. Again, Tannehill doesn't suck. Sucking is a guy who cannot have the kind of performance that Tannehill. Zach Wilson sucks. Okay? That's the difference. Ryan Tannehill can quarterback you to 2 straight division titles and on the verge of a third. And the third was with everybody conspiring against him. His offensive coordinator was terrible. His general manager traded away the best receiver. He had no offensive line. And still, Tannehill left the season last year with like an 80% chance of you winning your division. That's not somebody who sucks. Now, the symptom and a cause thing, I think that's 95% of the quarterbacks in the league who aren't Mahomes. Again, Zach Wilson's an example of this. If you made Tannehill the quarterback of the Jets, and you told Tannehill, hey, we just need you to play average quarterback for us. Our defense is going to dominate. Our running backs are going to run the football, and you've got Garrett Wilson. He'd give the Jets a chance. That's most quarterbacks in the league. Texter said, no one should have been surprised by Tannehill looking uncomfortable in week 1. We all figured he'd be running for his life behind that weak offensive line. Well, not only that, but the weak offensive line got him hit early in that game, and he was affected by that. This week, I think it's kind of a miracle that after Vrabel just gift wrapped 3 points to the Chargers by going for it around midfield for no reason, an offensive line that got Tannehill smoked early in the game, that they were still able to dial up the deep shot, and that Tannehill, first of all, the Chargers bought the fake on the play action pass to Henry, and then Tannehill put the ball right on the money, and Burks ran right by his guy, and that is something that Burks can do. Because he did it in the Green Bay game. He did it in the Cincinnati game last year. I mean, he can do that. And they hit that shot, and all of a sudden, Henry touchdown, and now the Chargers are kind of on their heels a little bit than before. They tried that in the Saints game with the deep shot to Chris Moore. Now, Moore got interfered with, and they didn't call it, but they tried that. Man, people are mad at Tannehill. Woo! Daniel says, I'll add to your point about symptoms and causes. It seems that it's also true that guys like Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Patrick Mahomes were handled a certain way by their offensive coordinators. They all need certain personnel, certain reads, concepts, certain allowances, and protections for their styles. It all matters, including the fact that Tannehill cost the team 65% of the money that Mahomes cost his team. Now, I don't think that really matters that much when the cap's fake, but I understand. By the way, it must be bad for the cap people that Mahomes just got that huge raise. How are the Chiefs going to be able to fit all that under the cap? You get my point. But again, I mean, and I don't think Tannehill compares to those guys, but I mean, like, I watched Kansas City yesterday against Jacksonville, and I thought Jacksonville was atrocious. I mean, I don't think they'll ever be gifted the opportunity to beat the Chiefs like they were yesterday. I mean, you got Richie James fumbling punts inside the 15-yard line. Mahomes turned it over a couple of times. I mean, they turned it over 3 times. They committed, I want to say, 12 penalties for 94 yards. Jacksonville was given prime real estate and kicked 3 field goals. Trevor Lawrence was horrible. I mean, just horrible yesterday. That nobody's going to bring that up. Because we were all told that Trevor Lawrence was going to be a king when he was a freshman in college, so we all just assumed that that's what's going to happen, even though that's not what happened yesterday. Lawrence is supposed to be the kind of guy who's the cause, not a symptom. He's supposed to be the guy who's going to get paid $300 million after this year, and he was atrocious. I don't even know what the stat line was for Trevor Lawrence. I'm going to pull it up right here, but I watched the game. I can assume it was awful. I mean, he missed so many throws. Lawrence, 22 of 41, 216, no touchdowns, no picks. Quarterback rating of 68.8. He was awful. It was awful. Because in the NFL, you know, there's guys that are supposed to be great. There's guys that are great. And then there's Tannehill, who's not supposed to be great. And as long as you understand what the expectations for Tannehill should be, and you see that when Tannehill struggles, there has to be a why, because we know that he's not as bad as he was in the Saints game. Then you have to figure out the why. And I think we showed that. Texture said, Ian, find out how many times I said Tannehill sucks over the last few years.
Oh, man, that could take a while.
I don't ever think I said he sucked. I said, now, sucked in that game? Like the Steeler game in 2021? Yeah, he sucked. But I don't think it's ever been. I've never considered Tannehill. I've never said that Tannehill sucks. The one thing where, I really look back and I'm like, ooh, that was a bad one, was when I was willing to give up like 3 first-round picks and Kevin Byard in order to trade Tannehill for Russell Wilson. That was the one that I look back on and I'm like, woo, gosh. By the way, I watched the Broncos versus Washington yesterday.
Wild
the Broncos
one, huh?
are terrible. They are terrible. I didn't even see how they got up. I just saw that they had this big lead, and I watched Washington just come back and reel off all those points at the end of the first half and the second half. And I'm like, man, this team's terrible. Washington, I was high on them going into the season. Washington might be pretty good. Texture says Justin Fields sucks. I didn't see the game, but I did see the meme of like Fields back there in the pocket where 3 guys run open and Fields is just standing there patting the ball. I've never been a huge Fields guy.
Everyone ripping Fields this week.
Hey, I tried to tell everybody I was on Sirius after the Titans-Bears game. I was like, yeah, forget about that stat line from Fields. They were playing guys I'd never heard of. And it was like, no, he was so good with DJ Moore. I'm like, okay, all right, fine. You guys do whatever you want. Texture says, Jared, did they scrap a lot of the Tim Kelly innovative stuff from the Saints game and go back to the more basic Todd Downing stuff yesterday? Because that's what it felt like. I'm sorry. When was Todd Downing running the ball with 2 backs in the backfield twice to the left to set it up so that they could run the option for a touchdown on the right? Remind me when Todd Downing did that. When did Todd Downing take the simple throw of moving the quarterback out so he could just pitch it and catch it to the best wide receiver on the team so they could set up the field goal? This didn't feel like a Todd Downing game to me. This felt, I don't want to call Tim Kelly Arthur Smith. This felt like an Arthur Smith game more than it felt like a Todd Downing game. More your phone, 615-737-1025 on a Titans Monday. 615-737-1025. There is one thing that I hope the Titans discovered that they can do, and that they do more often. They need to do it. We'll get to that next. Stillman and Company on a Titans Monday. 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Every day we are live and local.
I think Vanderbilt is steady, disciplined.
It's been so long since Tennessee's gotten out of the first weekend.
And your source for Nashville sports. I don't mind going to another team.
You want to know what the coaching staff's going to look like?
We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It's time to celebrate this fall and unleash the beast. Monster Brewing proudly presents to you Beast Unleashed. 0 caffeine, 0 sugar, all the adult beverage fun. The Beast is unleashed with great taste, bold familiar flavors, and 6% alcohol. Go wild with Mean Green, White Haze, Peach Perfect, and Scary Berries. Don't fear the Beast. Enjoy Beast Unleashed at your next tailgate or football party. Drink responsibly. Must be 21 and over.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/primetime and use code PRIMETIME. That's code PRIMETIME at prizepicks.com/primetime for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
He knows Nashville sports.
I love Clark Lee. He is a brilliant dude.
And he's not scared to tell it like it is.
They were atrocious on defense a year ago.
He is Outkick's Chad Withrow.
We really don't care. You're here. You signed a grant of rights.
Withrow joins Stillman and Company every Friday at 5. Brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
I know they were doing that for him to be the third-string quarterback in year one.
On 102.5 and 106.3, The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hey Nashville, this is Penny Hardaway, University of Memphis coach. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, ESPN 102.5, The Game.
First down for the 25. Again, this is a Titans team the last couple of years that haven't scored a lot of points. Tannehill to throw, looking long, looking for Burks. He's got him at the 20-yard line. And Burks is dragged down from behind by Asante Samuel. Well, that'll jolt the crowd.
If you watch last week's ball game, the Chargers against the Miami Dolphins, there were a lot of blow-bys, and this one is a great throw by Ryan Tannehill. He heaved this ball probably about as far as he could. Burks did a great job closing, and look at the outside room that he has to work with, and that ball is thrown right in stride.
Yes, I mean, it was critical, and, we need that from trailing. Being able to run through the catch there was fantastic. Got over the top, protection held up. Ryan gave him a fantastic ball, but I'm with you, Joe. We were leaking oil, and we needed somebody to step up and make a play, and that was a huge play.
There you go. That was the bomb to Traylon Burks, and I just want to state for the record, I looked for this today, but I didn't look very hard because I don't remember when it was in the pregame show yesterday. But during the pregame show, I said to Chris, I go, they need to use Burks the way that they used you, talking about Chris Sanders, which was Derek Mason was the high-volume guy. Frank Wycheck was the tight end that they would play pepper with, just throwing him the football. And Eddie George was the engine of the offense, a lot like Derrick Henry. But every now and then, Jeff Fisher, those Titans, they'd take a deep shot early in the game to Chris Sanders. In 2000, the best team the Titans ever had, Chris Sanders had 6 catches over 35 yards. He was the deep ball guy. That's why he was there. So that teams could not just load it up and say, okay, we're going to stop Eddie George. No, there had to be somebody who had the speed to scare everybody into keeping them back a little bit and keeping a defense honest. And Chris yesterday on the pregame show totally scoffed at that idea. He was like, they can't protect it. They can't this. They can't. I'm like, yes, they can. They've got to try to do that with Burks. That's what Burks needs to be. The possession receivers are Hopkins and Westbrook-Ikhine. Burks, and they've already tried 2 deep balls for Chris Moore. They hit one, and the other one he got interfered on. Those seem to be the deep ball guys. And Chig is, a tight end, but he is a big play type receiver too. But they need to use Burks in that exact fashion, which is if they're going to put 8 guys on the line of scrimmage because they're so worried of Derrick Henry, then they've got to throw the ball deep to Burks. And he can do it. And I know he can do it, and you know he can do it because he did it in the Green Bay game last year, and he did it in the Cincinnati game. He's got more speed and more explosion than almost everybody else at that position. Hopkins can't run like that. Westbrook-Ikhine can't run like that. I don't even think Chris Moore can really run like that. Burks is the one guy. He gets off the jam and he goes. And if there's not a safety over the top because the safety is thinking about Derrick Henry, or when they run the play action pass, the safety comes up, Tannehill can roll, step up and throw it deep. And it's either going to be a touchdown like it was yesterday, basically, or it's at least going to make the other team think, okay, hold on, we got to be careful here. We can't just load it up for Derrick Henry. That's what they need out of Burks. Forget about being A.J. Brown. I mean, I'm not banking on that, but that yesterday, they had to call that. And I wish I could find the audio. I'm going to have to find the audio before Wednesday when Chris comes on the show so I can be like, ah! You know, it's one thing to be right or wrong. It's another thing when you're like, oh, no, they can't do the thing that we did, specifically that I did when I played on that team. Let's go to your phones, which are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Tyron in Brentwood is up next on Tannehill. Thank you for calling. What's up, Tyron?
Let's just pump the brakes on the Tannehill porn, okay? Let's pause with the Tannehill lust and limbo.
What was over the top? Right? What is incorrect about Tannehill?
Well, I mean, it's one game, but to me it was more about the Chargers. I mean, my God, they had Tua looking like Steve Young last week, and you seen against a lesser talented defense on paper, Tua was okay-ish last night in Foxborough, but nowhere near like he was against the Chargers. The Chargers are a poorly coached football team from A to Z. The Chargers should have ran this game and blew you away yesterday. And in the fourth quarter, when I realized it was still of a game, I said, well, they're going to lose this game because that's what the Chargers do. They do So, yeah, he played a great game yesterday, and he's an average quarterback at best. But let's stop the nonsense. That was more about the Chargers and they Chargers. Here's a thought. You've got an expensive roster. You paid big-time money for the quarterback, for the defense, and yada, yada, yada. How about you get a credible coach? This is the thought, Chargers. Pick up the phone and call Jim Harbaugh. He's done with college football. Hell, he can't even buy a kid a hamburger without getting a slap on the wrist. Pick up the phone, get Justin Herbert a credible coach, and stop all this nonsense because your season's over. The fact that Staley hadn't been fired is beyond me. But Tannehill, stop, Jed. You sometimes you don't know your from your ass,
What
man.
was wrong about what I said about Tannehill?
Because you know you're not going to be an elite team this year. You're going nowhere.
Did I ever say that they were going to be an elite team?
Okay, but
did I say Tannehill was a Super Bowl quarterback? Did I say any of that?
Fair point, but don't you want more as a fan? Don't you want to go get an all-pro quarterback to what you've been missing?
Of course I want that. How am I going to get that right now?
That's what I don't know. But you need to figure it out because you're not going to make the playoffs. Tannehill will have a couple of good games this year, but by and large, at best, average quarterback. To me, he's below average, and that's it. Beating the Chargers yesterday, oh, please. Oh, come on, man.
Thank you, Tyron. I agree with your point about Brandon Staley, although I didn't think Brandon Staley was the worst coach yesterday. I thought Vrabel coached way worse than Brandon Staley did. I didn't think Staley lost him the game. You know, and I am very quick to blame Brandon Staley. The Chargers keep losing games they shouldn't lose. You know, that is something that does, you know, again, just overall bothers me. I mean, I don't really care about the Chargers, but different story for a different day. You all are, when you respond to what I say about Tannehill, as if it is something that I haven't said, it tells me more about your interpretation of the game in Tannehill than it does me. Because I didn't say the Titans were going to have an elite team. I have not said that once today. I haven't said anything about the rest of the season today. I haven't said, oh, wow, the Titans got this win under their belt. Now they're going to go reel off 9 in a row. I haven't said that. I don't know if the Titans are going to win next week against the Browns. I don't think they'll be favored. We'll watch the Browns tonight and see. But, I mean, again, like, I have not said anything other than the fact Tannehill was perfect yesterday. He was perfect. So everybody that wanted to bury him after week 1, which wasn't me, he was perfect yesterday, and they won. That doesn't mean that they're an elite team. That doesn't mean that he's an elite quarterback. But I never said those things. So when you're like, oh, no, Jared, you're talking all this about Tannehill. You're telling me that you think Tannehill is terrible and that you want to discount yesterday's performance. That's what you're saying. That's why I didn't want to bench Tannehill after the Saints game. Because I was discounting that Saints performance and saying that's not who he is. Yesterday where he throws for 249 yards, that's who he is. 249, 225, 19 completions, 17 completions, 20 complete. That's who he is. He threw it 24 times yesterday. He threw it 34 times in week 1. I don't want that. It's about what you think of Tannehill. It has nothing to do with what I think of Tannehill. Oh, man. One texter says that I know you've said Tannehill sucked dozens of times. I never said he sucked. I've said he sucked in games. He sucked against the Saints. But I've never said that he sucks. I've never said that because I've never believed it. I know you can't win the Super Bowl with him. A lot of you people don't seem to understand. Like, it's not all either he's the best or he's the worst. There's the elite category, and he doesn't fit into that. And then there's the terrible category, and he doesn't fit into that. He's in the middle, just like Derek Carr, just like Kirk Cousins, just like those quarterbacks. One texter says, how about the job Craig Aukerman is doing this year? He sucks so bad, but our special teams is doing quite well, so let's give credit where credit is due. They got a punt blocked yesterday. Also, I think punting for the Titans is a mess right now. And Joe asked Vrabel about it. You know, what Stonehouse does is he goes back there and he just bangs the crap out of the ball. And so he's kicking it as hard as he can kick it. The problem is that they're returning it for about 18 yards on every return. That is a problem. You know, like there's no technique when it comes to Stone. He's just kicking the crap out of it. The average drive, I believe at one point for the Titans, was starting at their own 23. The Chargers, it was like the own 39. That's a big deal in games. I mean, Stonehouse is kicking from, I want to say like the 40, and he ends up kicking the ball out of the end zone for a touchback. Here's the stat that got me. And I don't want to spend all day yelling and screaming about the punter. And I don't think the punter is bad, but I think the idea of, well, look at how far Stonehouse kicks it is almost the same as like looking at a quarterback and saying, wow, look at how far he throws it. Joe Milton can do that. But I'm not sure it's going to help you win games. The one stat that got me, their punter, J.K. Scott, I'm watching the ball in the air by being at the game when J.K. Scott's punting. I'm like, oh, my God, look at that ball. It's like kind of a knuckleball, kind of a, sideways turner, kind of a Stonehouse just goes out there and just smacks it as hard as he can. And so on every punt, Stonehouse averaged 61, Scott averaged 39. But the difference was J.K. Scott put 4 inside the 20, and Ryan Stonehouse didn't put any inside the 20. So congratulations on your 63-yard punt, but it doesn't matter. And Stonehouse had one punt that I think fell down at the 2. Like, that ball needs to be down at the 6. And then you need to give your guys, or put the ball in the air so your guys can get under it and catch it at the 3-yard line. Yesterday, Kansas City had one. They caught the ball at the 1-yard line. And you never do that with Stonehouse. So I am not, Nick Folk's making his kicks. I thought Keiris Jackson returned the ball well. But, I mean, as far as the punting, I mean, it's just, to me, it's not very good. 615-737-1025 is our phone number, 615-737-1025. We're back to your phones next here on a Titans Monday. Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106 of the game.
Nashville Sounds Baseball lives on 94.9 The Fan. Catch every pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Every hit.
That's a base hit.
Every run.
Looking up, it's gone.
On your home for Sounds Baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Newton Nissan in Gallatin. You know what time of year it almost is? Spooky season. But we're not about scaring your kids. We want them to have an amazing Halloween experience. That's why we host one of the largest trunk or treats in Middle Tennessee each and every year. And this year, we're back to hosting it in person, not as a drive-through anymore. Get ready with your best costumes and walking shoes because on October 15th from 3 to 5 p.m., we'll have 2 hours of trunk or treating, contests, pizza, and of course, a whole lot of candy. We can't wait to have fun on Sunday afternoon with you, rain or shine. Mark your calendars for October 15th from 3 to 5 p.m. at Newton Nissan, 1461 Nashville Pike in Gallatin. That's October 15th from 3 to 5 p.m. Follow us on Facebook to stay up to date. And don't forget our website, newtonnissan.com.
It's time for another Kubota Field event hosted by Coleman Tractor of Nashville. Our biggest sales event of the year will take place on Thursday, September 21st at the Nashville Gun Club during the Shooting Hunger Sporting Clays Shoot. Stop by our booth to learn all about Kubota. Zero-turn mowers, utility vehicles, and more. Take advantage of Kubota's competitive financing offers, receive a coupon for up to $250, plus enter to win prizes. Try it and buy it at Coleman Tractor of Nashville during the Shooting Hunger Sporting Clays Shoot at the Nashville Gun Club, Thursday, September 21st. The event kicks off at 7:30 a.m.
Real estate investors, get ready for an incredible opportunity. D&M Development is thrilled to announce the Phase 1 presale of 16 non-owner occupied short-term rentals in Nashville's exclusive resort-style community, the New Cumberland. Nestled between Germantown and East Nashville, this exceptional location offers stunning views of the city and the Cumberland River. Each unit features spacious kitchens, 4 bedrooms, and 4 baths, providing the ultimate luxury experience for your guests. Resort-style pools, and a wide range of amenities. Don't miss out on this exclusive investment chance. Visit thenewcumberland.com for more information and secure your spot in this extraordinary community.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Get wings the way you want them. Try Twin Peaks wings bone-in breaded, naked, smoked and grilled, or boneless in your favorite sauce or rub.
Fall is finally here, and you know what that means. The Nashville Oktoberfest in Germantown. With VIP tickets, you have all-day access to a dedicated private bar, unlimited Bavarian fare and drinks, luxury bathrooms, and a beer and whiskey tasting. It's first-class accommodations to enjoy the festival in style. Grab your Oktoberfest VIP tickets at thenashvilleoktoberfest.com. The Nashville Oktoberfest 2023, Thursday, October 5th through Sunday, October 8th at Bicentennial Mall in Germantown. Prost, y'all.
Insightful discussion.
When we talk about the person that these players are.
3 goals scored in the first 5 minutes.
He wants to be the starter, day one.
Mixed with spirited debate.
Okay, but Derek, Professor Derek.
They are Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace. With Caroline Fenton, Willie Donick, and former NFL wide receiver Derek Mason.
We got the whole thing covered. We got it all covered.
Here.
Weekdays at 11 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Strong opinions and a strong personality on your drive home. This is Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
It was a tough week as you kind of been through last week after the opener, after there's so much build-up going the season. What was that like last week trying to get to today?
I mean, obviously, watching the tape, it sucks. You're looking at the negative things and things you want to correct, and you're excited to get back out here. But once I was able to make those corrections with my teammates, with the coaches, I was able to put it behind me and get going for the next week. You got a long season. You can't harbor good things or bad things, right? We came up with a big win today. We'll celebrate it tonight, enjoy it tonight, and then tomorrow we'll start getting ready for the next one.
There you go. That was Tannehill. One thing that does bother me is when he says you. Like the second person in reference to himself. You watch the film, you try to get better, you just say I. Makes it more personal. That's just a pet peeve of mine. Phone line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Dwayne has been waiting patiently. He's up next on the Titans on a Titan Monday. Go ahead, Dwayne.
Yeah, I wanted to shift subjects a little bit. I wanted to say if the Titans want to get back to the AFC Championship game, they're going to have to run Derrick Henry. They need to get him more touches in the football games. I like the way how they come out of the wildcat position, and I really enjoyed how they ran the option yesterday. That was a fantastic play. We need more of those plays. We need to keep their defensive coordinator on their P's and Q's, and that's how we're going to win the games.
Thank you for your call. As far as the actual touches are concerned, Derrick touched it 25 times, and he was targeted 4 times. So that's 29 touches in a game. When Derrick was leading the NFL, in 2021 at the peak of his powers, he was touching the ball 28 times a game. So I don't have a problem with the touches for Derrick Henry. In fact, I think it was pretty good. all in all things considered. I mean, maybe he could do a little bit more receiving out of the back. I don't have a problem with that. But I think the big stat is the 71% of the plays Derrick Henry was on yesterday. The fact that, again, you want your 5 linemen and your quarterback to all play 100% of the snaps. Unless you're blowing somebody out, 85-0, and then you can put your backups in. But you really want it to be, your left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle, and quarterback to be 100%. And yesterday you had 4 guys at 100%, Tannehill at 100%, and then Radens at like 80-something%, and then Henry. And that's the way it should be. It shouldn't be that Trevon Wesco is totaling roughly the same amount of snaps as Derrick Henry. It should never be that way. And yesterday, I thought the number 71%, I thought that was excellently done by Tim Kelly. Again, of their 10 biggest plays, Derrick was on the field for 7 of them, and 1 of them was a carry. That tells you that Derrick is a threat in your passing game as a runner. To your point about keeping the defensive coordinators on their heels, Derrick on the field, play action. When you throw when they think you're going to run, or you run when they think you're going to throw, that is right now the best course of option with this offensive line. Tommy is up next on Ryan Tannehill. Thank you for calling. Thank you for waiting. What's up, Tommy?
Hey, I've never understood the hate for Ryan Tannehill. He, in my opinion, he's the most underrated quarterback in the National Football League. Nobody has beat Brady more than Ryan Tannehill, with the exception of Peyton Manning. His first 4 seasons at Miami, the only 2 quarterbacks to ever throw for more yards was Peyton Manning and Dan Marino. Okay? The year he took over for us, I predicted that he was going to go on this run, and Corey Curtis made fun of me, which later on he had to apologize. But I do believe that he can take us to a Super Bowl 100% this year.
So
I believe.
I disagree with that, but I do appreciate your call and your optimism. I do appreciate that. See, this is the thing where, again, this is how I feel about Tannehill in regards to you all, which is when you call up and you say things after Tannehill pitches a perfect game and you say, he sucks. I'm like, that's not true. But then when you say things like, he threw the ball like Dan Marino, he can lead us to the Super Bowl, I'm like, that's just not like he didn't throw for 446 yards, which is basically what Tua did against the same defense the year before, and I'm not even that big of a Tua fan. A texter into the text line says that this was nowhere near Arthur Smith football in reference to Tannehill. Tannehill was leading the NFL in so many categories when Arthur Smith was the coordinator, and including top 5 in almost everything, and he had the highest QBR in the NFL in 2019. So I'm not saying this season is Arthur Smith football, but I'm saying this game is Arthur Smith football. And in 2019, Tannehill had a quarterback rating under Arthur Smith of 117.5. Yesterday, Tannehill had a quarterback rating of 123.3. That's the point. 123.3 and 117.5 are similar. Now, that was for an entire season. This was for a game. Can Tannehill continue to play like this? Can they continue to call the plays that give Tannehill the opportunity to succeed? Can they block it for him? Because, again, the other thing is, and you all know this, you know how this league works, everybody's going to adjust. So everybody now has that Charger film, and so when they see you in a certain formation, they know that if this is what you ran or this is what you did, they're going to turn around and try to go do the same thing. Texter said, I'm so tired of watching Tannehill. Wasting another season watching him is going to be rinse and repeat come playoff time. There's nothing Tannehill does to push the offense forward. He's a game manager at best, and I am so over watching him play. When I hear things like that, my question is, so what do you want them to do? Like, would it appease you if the Titans, even after yesterday's game, that they won, said, okay, we're going with Will Levis now? Would it appease you if the Titans were to do that? They wouldn't win a lot this year, but Will Levis might be the next guy. So would that make you feel better? They would lose, but you wouldn't have to watch Tannehill anymore. And I am not of that mind. I am of the belief that every game is going to be like the first two games, which against the Saints was one play here or there. If it goes your way, you win. And against the Chargers, it was one play here or there, and if it goes the other way, you lose. And that's probably how Sunday's game's going to be. And that's probably how all these other games are going to be. And so would I rather have Mahomes? Sure. But so would everybody else in the NFL. So I don't, when you say, like, I'm tired of watching Tannehill, I'm like, what do you want them to do about it? Texter says, Tannehill isn't winning us the Super Bowl. Then what are we doing? Well, then what are the Falcons doing with Desmond Ridder? What are the Seahawks doing with Geno Smith? What are the Vikings doing with Kirk Cousins? I mean, what are all these teams doing with all these other quarterbacks that don't win Super Bowls? What are the Browns doing with Deshaun Watson? I mean, if that's the case, then everybody should play rookie quarterbacks if you don't have Mahomes. Go ahead, play your rookie quarterbacks. See how that works. 615-737-1025. The Falcons, when Dan Quinn was the coach, they used to call Monday Tell the Truth Monday because that was where they would go over the film. Well, we got to, tell the truth a little bit. Yes, they won. Yes, we should be positive. They did 8 good things and 8 bad things by my accord. Let's go through them. We'll do that next. Stillman and Company, 615-737-1025. And we still have those Thomas Rhett tickets to give away, so we'll do that later in the show. 1025-1063 The Game.
Are you always on the go? We've got you covered. Download the Game Nashville app from your app store and listen to us wherever you are.
Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexroad.
It's Chase McCabe.
Caroline, Willie, D-Mays.
Stillman and Company.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
Good station. I listen to it all the time.
1025 and 1063 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
The two most sought-after, most prestigious names in bridal jewelry come together for one epic event this weekend at Genesis Diamonds.
Tacori and Viraggio, the world's premier designers, are showing off their entire collections. All the latest designs, many showcased for the first time ever, with up to $5,000 in savings.
Everyone loves Tacori, meticulously crafted by master artisans in their California design studio. Discover the hidden details and exceptional quality that sets Tacori apart. There's always more than meets the eye with Tacori. Come explore the entire Tacori collection, including all new Tacori fine jewelry, earrings, bracelets, eternity bands, pendants, and more.
If you're engagement ring shopping, this is a once-a-year event you can't miss. Other jewelers aren't even allowed to carry these iconic American-made brands.
Also for this event, Genesis is showcasing an expanded selection of GIA-certified diamonds in all shapes and sizes.
Come join us and take advantage of special incentives, zero interest financing, and as much as $5,000 in savings. This Friday through Sunday, only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can do it now in less than a week. Hey, Willie Donick here. That's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. You don't even have to touch your primary mortgage. You can keep that 3% rate intact. Get just the money you need and pay off all those credit cards or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Caroline Fenton here from my friends at Sean Hammond's Jiu-Jitsu Academy. They supply a very safe and family-friendly environment with classes daily. Classes range from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, cardio kickboxing, ladies and kids programs, and so much more. Black belt instructed classes for men, women, and kids of all ages. You'll gain knowledge in self-defense, get a great workout, and get in the best shape of your life. Located at 2909 Armory Drive in South Nashville, call Sean Hammond's Jiu-Jitsu Academy today to set up your free trial. Learn more at SeanHammondsBJJ.com.
Now, your Game Center update.
The Tennessee Titans notched one in the win column on Sunday as they got their first win of the season, topping the Chargers 27-24 in overtime. Titans head coach Mike Vrabel spoke after the game about getting that first win.
It's important. It's important to get off to a good start, and again, tight games at home. We needed it. We all needed it. But we can be able to learn from it and see when we do the things that we talk about in practice and the execution, what it looks like.
The Titans travel to Cleveland to take on the Browns in Week 3. Speaking of the Browns, they are taking part in the Monday Night Football doubleheader tonight. Cleveland takes on Pittsburgh with kickoff at 7:15 on ABC and ESPN. And prior to that, the Saints take on the Panthers with kickoff set for 6:15 on ESPN. The Chiefs and quarterback Patrick Mahomes have restructured his contract that will pay Mahomes $210.6 million between 2023 and 2026, the most in NFL history during a 4-year period. The Nashville Predators prospects dropped the final game of their Rookie Showcase tournament earlier today, falling to Carolina 3-2. The Preds report for training camp on September 20th. Vanderbilt football dropped a tough one to UNLV over the weekend. They get their SEC schedule started this week when they host Kentucky. Hear the latest edition of the Commodore Hour starting at 6 o'clock on your home of Vandy Sports, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. From the Game Nashville studios, this is Ian Safar.
Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUZ HD2 Laverne. Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
79-52 Vanderbilt.
And I think he's going to coach him up by Cheryl.
You're going to see more moves.
The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Where you have a voice.
He had a competent coaching staff. You just play terrible and you keep playing.
And we have strong opinions.
What a whiny freaking crybaby response.
This is Stillman and Company with Jared Stillman on Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3 The Game, streaming live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live. Thanks to Superbook Sports, live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. On a Titans Monday, Titans victors against the Chargers. They go to 1-1, 27-24 in overtime. By the way, I am incredibly proud of myself. I just want to throw this out there. Ian, less than 30 minutes from the kick going through the uprights to me exiting the club level to me getting in my car, dropping my friend off at their house, and being at my house in Green Hills.
Wow.
I was so proud of myself.
How did that happen?
It's just when you know what to do. You know, in the club level, if you stand at if you wait 1 second, if you hesitate 1 second in the club level at the Titans games, you're going to be held up at the escalator and the stairs, and you're going to be stuck there for 20 minutes. So I tell people I go to the game, I'm like, hey, man, when I say let's go, we're gone. And so before the kick, I was like, once those guys get up there and raise their hands, good or bad, I guess if it's bad, we would have stayed to see what the Chargers did. But once they raise their hands, good, we are freaking out of here. And then because I park and then walk across the bridge to do the pregame show, my car is right by the exit. So then I pop right out, get right on the interstate, and I'm gone, which I take some great solace in, and I'm sure nobody else cares about. So last night, I guess I was so jazzed up about the game that at halftime of the Sunday Night Football game, I went upstairs at my house and I put on the TV. I put the game on, and I, put the Sunday night game on my phone just so I could keep an eye on that, but watch the Titans and just kind of, jot down my notes as always. And so I came up with 8 good things the Titans did and 8 bad things they did. Now, I don't think this is going to be a segment that we do every week because I think that might be a little disingenuous to find 8 every week, but as I was watching the film back, I was thinking to myself, man, this is pissing me off. Or, man, that's a great play. And I don't want to not note that. So this is kind of my way of making sure that we kind of hit all the basics of the game on Sunday. I mean, the first good thing is the speed with which I exited the stadium. I'm kidding. The first good thing I thought was Tannehill. Good decisions, good passes. He was accurate. He was on time. He was on time outside the numbers. He was on time over the middle. Again, 4 incompletions. One was a ball that Traylon Burks slipped on. Another was a drop by DeAndre Hopkins, a drop by Trevon Wesco, And what was the other one? Oh, the failed screen pass, which, I mean, the Chargers had that sniffed out. And I actually think he made a great decision on the failed screen pass to bat the ball down out of the air. So the first good thing that happened was Tannehill. The first bad thing that happened, Vrabel's decision to go for it on 4th down. Again, I don't know what he was thinking. And if he was thinking, well, we're at midfield and I've got a good defense and I want the positive momentum, so on 4th and 4 at the Charger 46, I'm going to go for it, then he thought wrong. If that's what Vrabel thought, then he thought stupidly. Because, again, if you've got a great defense, what you want to do is put that ball down there. You want the score to be low if you've got a good defense. So you want to put that ball down around the 4-yard line and make the Chargers go 96 yards. Because if you got a great defense, the thinking would be somewhere along the way, trying to get the 96 yards, you're going to have an interception, you're going to have a sack, you're going to have something like that. And so you're going to be able to turn that into a positive for you. And now the offense picks up the ball because of a turnover at the Charger 22-yard line, and it's an easy touchdown. Not going for it at midfield. Stupid. Somebody texted in earlier today and was like, if they had gotten it, you would have said it was a good call. Ian, do you think I would have said it was a good call if they had gotten it?
Nah, I don't know. Probably not.
I would have said it was stupid because it was so stupid. Another good thing, Tim Kelly, 10 good play calls. Like good ones where I'm like, man, that is a play call that the Chargers were not ready for. 10 times in a game? I mean, I don't even know how many, what was there, like 50-something offensive snaps?
65, I think I saw.
So 10 good play, like that is a good ratio of good play calls where it's like, wow, that's a good call. So I thought he was absolutely excellent. The second bad thing was Trey Avery. I mean, Trey Avery is what he is. He's a backup guy. He's undrafted. I laughed out loud when Vrabel was doing his press conference today, and he was talking about the Keenan Allen touchdown in the end zone, and he said that Avery got big boyed by Keenan Allen. I think that's probably a good way to describe it. Avery's just not very good, man. And what Herbert did on the last drive to kick the field goal is they went right at Trey Avery the whole time. Like, they just went right after Trey Avery. And if Christian Fulton is going to be a liability to stay healthy, which it is obvious that he's going to be, that means Trey Avery's going to end up playing more, and that concerns me. Because Herbert didn't even think twice. He just went right at him. Then the Titans changed up the defense in the overtime, and I think that screwed with Herbert a little bit, which we'll get to that at some point today. But, I mean, I'm worried about Trey Avery. The third good thing was Roger McCreary. I thought he was a great tackler. I thought his coverage was good, especially on a ball in which they threw in overtime for Mike Williams on the side. They really didn't throw it McCreary at all. I think that tells you how much respect they had for him as a corner. This is 2 good games in a row for Roger McCreary. And I know he missed one of those tackles on the Gerald Everett run where he broke 2 tackles from Molden, one from Gibbons and then one from McCreary. But outside of that, I thought McCreary was a great tackler yesterday. Too many big plays on defense. The Titans, this is the problem. The defense is good. Like, the defense is good. The pass rush is good. The secondary's got good players in it. The linebackers are good. Although Al-Shaair has got to stop with the 15-yard penalties.
That's another one, huh?
Unbelievable. But too many times, the Titans gave up a big play. The first drive where the Chargers kicked the field goal, which was technically the second drive for the Chargers, on 3rd down and 3. No, excuse me. On 2nd and 2, 4th down and 2, they give up a 20-yard gain to Mike Williams because Trey Avery misses a tackle. The Titans hit the bomb, and they score the touchdown to make it 11-7, and they get some positive momentum. And immediately, the Chargers break off a 15-yard run, and then they throw the ball on the sidelines for 42 yards to Keenan Allen. How do you lose Keenan Allen? He's the best receiver the Chargers have probably ever had. I mean, like, those too many big plays. What was the problem in the Saints game? They gave up 16 points. They played well. Too many big plays. And so that's got to stop. It's driving me crazy. I thought the defensive line was the fourth good thing. 98, 93, 96. That's Simmons, Tart, and Autry. And they all played like Simmons, Tart, and Autry. I don't think I need to go further into that. The fourth bad thing, pass protection in 3rd and long. This may not improve this season. Like, this may be the reality of the Titans. Like, that every 3rd and long is an automatic punt. But with this offensive line, I don't know how the Titans block on 3rd down and long. Because on 1st and 10, the defense thinks that the offense may be running the ball. They're not going to think that on 3rd and 13. So everybody's going to drop back. So there's really no way. Like, you can't play action pass with Derrick Henry on 3rd and long. And if you send 2 guys out in the pattern, then you've got 2 versus 7. And that doesn't seem like a very good idea. And you can't block with 5, so you can't send 5 out into the pass pattern. That's going to be a problem probably all season. Pass protection in 3rd and long. I'm sure the Titans would counter with, you show me a team that's good in 3rd and long. I would say, find me a team that can at least convert once on 3rd and long, and I don't think it's going to be the Titans. The 5th good thing from the game, Kearis Jackson's punt return in overtime. That was an 11-yard punt return that then put the ball at the 39-yard line, which meant that all the Titans had to do was go 38 yards in overtime in order to kick the field goal. And quite frankly, since the field goal was from 41, they probably really could have gotten away with 35. So that 11-yard return all of a sudden makes it so 1 or 2 plays and you win. I thought that was a big punt return, big play by Kearis Jackson. Another bad thing, Trevon Wesco. Whether it's the false starts, the drops, and his blocking's not that good either, that's 2 weeks in a row that Trevon Wesco has killed a Titans drive with a false start. That's now 3 drives on the season when you include the drop that Trevon Wesco had yesterday, that Trevon Wesco has killed a drive. He doesn't do enough to warrant the playing time if he's going to keep killing these drives. The 6th good thing, the kicker. Now, again, this is kind of adding the 2 games together. But, man, Nick Folk is kicking the crap out of the ball. Now, he didn't hit from further than 41 yesterday, but he made all of his extra points. He hit the 2 kicks, including the game winner in the rain. I like what I see. The ball goes down the middle. I know I was critical of the acquisition, and we're only 2 games into the season. And I want to say it was the 4th or the 5th game when Cairo Santos crapped his pants. But because I'm a Titans fan, and I'm not just rooting for my opinions to be right, I'm rooting for the Titans to win, I will gladly take an L if Nick Folk can keep kicking the ball the way he's kicking it. Another thing I didn't like, the punt coverage is awful. I mean, it's great that your punter can kick it 65 yards. It does you no good if they return it 19 yards and they start at the 40-yard line. Vrabel tried to defend that today. I don't give a rat's ass about the net punting. You didn't have a single punt inside the 20-yard line. They had 4. That's a problem. I thought Nick Westbrook-Akine and Chris Moore played well, both catching the ball and blocking. And so I'm not going to raise a stink about the fact that in overtime, it was Westbrook-Akine and Moore that were on the field, more than Burks and Hopkins. If they weren't catching the ball and they weren't blocking well, I would have raised a stink about why the guy you traded A.J. Brown for is not in the game and why the guy you're paying $12.5 million isn't in the game. But NWI and Chris Moore played well, so I'm not going to take that away from them. Another bad thing, bad start. I mean, you start down 11-0. Do that this week at Cleveland, you're dead. I mean, the Chargers are a one in a league team where you can get down 11-0 and be okay because they'll find a way to screw it up. Most teams in the league are not that way. Another good thing, no turnovers on offense. A bad thing, no turnovers on defense. I think that's fair. Want turnovers on offense, or no turnovers on offense, want turnovers on defense. 615-737-1025. We'll get to your phones, your reaction from the Titans win on a Titans Monday. I feel like that was pretty all-encompassing there. Coming up next, I think the fans want to make a big deal about this. I think the media wants to make a big deal about this. I'm not sure it's much of a big deal. We'll get to that next. Stillman and Company, 102.5, 106.3, The Game.
Every Wednesday at 8:30.
Come on,
Join Robbie and Rexroad for The Choice is Yours.
2 sports questions, 2 non-sports questions.
They'll answer a couple of questions about life and sports. The Choice is Yours is built by Jarrett Companies. You have a choice. So when you have a need for site and utility work, fire protection, concrete and asphalt services, the choice is simple. It's Jarrett Companies. For more, visit JarrettCompaniesInc.com. The choice is yours. Wednesdays at 8:30 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
A tribute to Ronnie Millsap. The final Nashville show, October 3rd at Bridgestone Arena. A tribute to Ronnie Millsap, featuring performances by Kelly Clarkson, Little Big Town, Parker McCullum, Scotty McCreery, Justin Moore, Tracy Lawrence, and more than 30 guest artists. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster. A tribute to Ronnie Millsap, the final Nashville show. One night only, October 3rd, Bridgestone Arena. Produced by Outback Presents.
Hey, it's Jared for PhD Weight Loss. I love the PhD Weight Loss program, and I am continuing to blow past the numbers. That's right. I'm getting close to my maintenance stage, and I did it all while enjoying the summer and traveling on vacation. But now that it's football season, I'm able to lock in on my nutrition thanks to the PhD Weight Loss program. I feel so much better about being in control of my weight, and I get excited when I continue to see my progress. And what's great is that PhD Weight Loss provides you 85% of the food at no added cost. That's no pills, that's no injections, that's no crazy workout program, but it is simple nutrition that they help you through. If you're someone who has struggled to lose weight, go online to myphdweightloss.com and check it out for yourself. You can learn about the program, the coaching, and of course, their guarantee. If you don't get within 5 pounds of your target weight by the end of your program, PhD will continue to coach you for free until you do. That's PhD Weight Loss online at myphdweightloss.com.
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to the Tennessee Men's Clinic in Franklin. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough about them. Their providers took care of me, followed up, and made sure I had a treatment plan that actually works. It's awesome. If I were you, and you're like me, I'd give them a call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. If you're like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra. Results vary.
Klein Tools are new at Lowe's, pros. Lowe's knows you want top brands and quality products, and Klein Tools delivers. Right now, get the Klein 3-piece ModBox mobile workstation for $319.94 and the Klein 5-piece cushion grip screwdriver set for just $34.97, both exclusively at Lowe's. Shop the largest selection of Klein tools, the highest quality tool brand at Lowe's. Because Lowe's knows tools, Lowe's knows pros.
Want to see our smiling faces? You can watch us on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook Live.
We are good to go.
Presented by Superbook Sports, voted #1 sportsbook in Vegas. You're listening to Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
I want for Dylan Radins to be able to come in and give you as many snaps as he did filling in at left guard.
Well, it was certainly a quick turnaround from when he was hurt. And again, all the credit goes to Dylan to be able to do that and get back, and having worked at tackle and guard, and just felt like early on we put him in there, and was able to stay alive. And I'm sure that there was going to be some mistakes, but it's great to see him back out there. It's a phenomenal turnaround.
Xavier just having trouble with the games and the blitzes?
Well, I just wanted to see what it looked like with Dylan. We had 2 guys there that hadn't been working in there, and give Dylan a shot and go from there.
There you go. That was Vrabel talking about Dylan Radins. And so the fans, and I saw it in your text early in the show, and the media, that Dylan Radins gets put in the game and the team doesn't stink and they end up winning, and it's like, what a great job, Dylan Radins. Mike, how good was Dylan Radins? Boy, I'll tell you, Radins, he went in there as if like it's a Christmas miracle. that the team didn't lose because they played Dylan Radins. Now, I will say this. It is impressive that Radins tore his ACL in December and is back out there playing real football now. And he wasn't on the field during training camp. And so, there's 3 preseason games that he didn't get to play and so on and so forth. And Ian brought up the point during the break that he thought that Dylan Radins, was much better than Xavier Newman-Johnson. The problem with that is that I think I could have played better than Xavier Newman-Johnson. When I went and watched the game back last night, I didn't really feel like Dylan Radins made much of a difference. Now, it is now available to me, and so I'll watch it, tonight. But the offensive line tape, I'll be able to watch that, and we'll see, how Radins looked. But I don't think he made much of a difference. And so when Vrabel was asked about Radins, again, he's not jumping up there saying, oh, man, Dylan was a huge part of what we did today, and we couldn't have done it without him. No, it was it was good to see him out there after the ACL, and all the credit to him on working hard on the ACL, which I'll give him credit for that. But I think like the media and the fans want to make this about how Dylan Radins saved the team's bacon, and I just don't think that's an accurate assessment of what happened. I think Radins is fine. I mean, I really don't even think he's that. But I think the best way to describe it is he's better than Xavier Newman-Johnson. That I think is the official threshold that he's crossed. And, with some of Dillard's, stuff that he's been screwing up, I wouldn't, completely rule out the idea of playing Radins at left guard and Skoronski at left tackle, except for the fact that Dillard actually had some really important blocks yesterday. The problem is only half the time he blocks. The other half he doesn't block, so you have to hope that when you hand the ball off and run it to the left side, that Andre Dillard's actually doing what he's supposed to do, and if not, you're either going to get sacked or you're going to get tackled in the backfield, which is very frustrating. That's still probably better and more impactful than what Dylan Radins is going to give you. So, I mean, it's a great story, but I'm not sure that other than the fact that he was better than Xavier Newman-Johnson, I'm not sure it really means anything. Phone lines are driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com, 615-737-1025. If you want to weigh in, Texter says, this time, Jared, you're right on the money. Run when the team thinks that we'll pass and pass when they think we'll run. But how long can that last? That comes from Matt and Madison. Here's the answer to that question. As long as you're not in third and they know you're going to pass the ball. Because, Tajay Spears got 11 on a first down, and somebody said, well, why can't they run the ball like that on a third down? I said, well, when you do that, they're going to put 6 defensive backs on the field, and those defensive backs are going to be at the sticks. So when you give Tajay Spears the ball, all 6 of those defensive backs are going to run to the vicinity of Tajay Spears, and they're just not going to let him get to the sticks. They'll let him get 4 or 5 yards, but they won't let him get the 11. So when you're in third and long, the only option you have is to pass. The problem is you can't pass block. So as long as you're not in third and long, and what Vrabel means by that, every time you hear Vrabel talk about staying on schedule, that's what he's talking about. He's talking about not being in 2nd and 13, not being in 3rd and 15. That's what he's talking about. The best spot for this offense to be in is 2nd and 2. Because once they get to 2nd and 2, once they get into 2nd and 2, then you put Derrick Henry in the game, and what does the defense think you're going to do? They think you're going to run, and then that's when you throw. And sometimes you do run, and you'll get a first down. And they know you might run. And if they are worried about you passing, you're going to run. He's going to get 9 yards. So it's all about staying out of third and long. That's the most important thing. That's why when it comes to play calling, I think that if the Titans get into like a 3rd and 16, just go ahead and hand the ball off and punt. Just go ahead and hand it off and punt and move on. You got a good defense, put the defense back out on the field. Don't do anything that gets your quarterback killed. Don't do anything too risky. Here's the other thing about the game yesterday. Tannehill took 5 sacks. I mean, two roughing the passers, and I'm sure he got hit more than that, including the hit on the option play. Tannehill can't do 15 more games of that. Nobody that plays quarterback in the NFL can take 15 more games of that. So the Titans are going to have to keep that in mind going forward. One texter into the text line says, I like to play with Tannehill and Henry and Spears with the fake handoff to Spears and the option for Tannehill and Henry where Tannehill ran it in for a touchdown. Not only was that a good play, but it was an excellent call because the Titans had set it up to run to the left twice earlier in the game out of that formation. So the third time, when you fake the handoff, they think you're handing it off to Spears on the left, but really you're running to the right. And that left one man to beat, and he was worried about who do I take, Tannehill or Henry? And he took Henry. Texter says, do you think the offensive line will improve? They say NPF. I don't know who NPF is. Nicholas Petit Ferrer, a.k.a.
PT.
PT. Will it improve with PT in there? I don't know. I don't think PT's very good. And while I don't think Chris Hubbard's very good, I also, I think Chris Hubbard's fine.
He wasn't terrible. Bosa got him once at least, right?
Yeah, but I mean, Bosa's going to get PT too.
Yeah, Bosa coming in for 8 snaps, 2 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Some good efficiency there, Bosa.
My favorite is when they don't block him.
He just goes right through, yeah.
They ran that one game with him and the other guy, and Dillard and Newman didn't block either guy, and so they both got to Tannehill.
Just fantastic.
Unbelievable. The Canadian Titan says, this Radens hate is off the wall, Jared. The man came in and immediately there was a noticeable difference in the offensive line. Coming off of a torn ACL 8.5 months ago, sure, he's not the greatest, but the Titans lose with Newman at left guard.
Wonder why they didn't start Radens.
I mean, the bigger issue is this is more about Newman than it is about Radens. What I want to know is why Corey Levin never gets to play. Holy crap. If that Xavier Newman-Johnson is better than Corey Levin, then he must really suck. The thing is I've seen Corey Levin play in the NFL before, and I know he doesn't suck that bad. But, I mean, he's a Xavier Newman. God, he was awful yesterday. I mean, again, like I said, I truly think that it could have been the same with me out there. And I hope I weigh 100 pounds less. Probably weigh more than 100 pounds less. And I think we could have been okay with me instead of Xavier Newman-Johnson. He was terrible. And I didn't think Radens was terrible. But, I mean, before I get in there and throw parades for people, not terrible, that should be the expectation for everybody who plays, not just the bare minimum. And we don't do that with Trey Avery. And we don't say, you know what, though? Trey Avery kind of stinks, but he didn't cost him the game, so let's celebrate Trey Avery. That's what you're doing for Radens. And I'm not interested in that. Kenston. Boy, we haven't heard from Kenston in a while. We only hear from Kenston when TD's on. Kenston says, why do the Titans run so many series when they have different wide receivers? One drive is Nick Westbrook-Akine and Chris Moore, and the next it's Treylon Burks and DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know. That is a good question. And it's something that, quite frankly, if Westbrook-Akine and Moore did not have the games that they had yesterday, I probably would have bitched louder about in overtime when I'm looking at Burks on the sidelines. And I'm like, why is Burks not in the game? Why is Chris Moore and Nick Westbrook-Akine in the game? But Moore and Westbrook-Akine were having good games. So I'm not going to say take them out. At that point, they've kind of earned the benefit of the doubt to be in the game. But it is a very fascinating question that I don't have the answer to.
At least it doesn't look as predictable as the Cody Hollister kind of package that they used to bring in when he was a wide receiver and strictly as a blocker. They brought Moore in and they ended up running the play action and hit a deep one to him. I'm not sure you could do that much with Cody Hollister, so that looks makes me feel maybe at least a little bit of an upgrade.
Agreed. The Titans have done a much better job this season, which means that it was Todd Downing's fault. No matter how much they said it wasn't Todd Downing's fault, the Titans have done a much better job this year of not just announcing to the defense with their personnel what they're going to do. Which, like I said, means that it was Todd Downing's fault. As much as everybody told you it wasn't Todd Downing's fault, it was in fact Todd Downing's fault when on first down, Hollister, Swaim, and Henry would run in the game. And then on second down, Burks, Woods, Okonkwo, and Hilliard would run in the game. It's like, okay, we know what you're doing, and so do they. And the key to that is that when they think you're going to run, then you pass. And when you do that, you get 70-yard and 49-yard bombs, which I like. 615-737-1025. More of your phones. 615-737-1025 if you want to weigh in on the program here on Stillman and Company. Plus, the one thing that yesterday's game really means, you know, they've got people talking about winning streaks and this and that. There's one thing that yesterday's win for the Titans really, truly means. We'll get to that next. Stillman and Company, 102.5-106.3 The Game. And let's go ahead. I'm in a good mood. Let's go ahead and give away these Thomas Rhett tickets. I am a big Thomas Rhett fan, although I don't think I've ever been to a Thomas Rhett concert. Be caller 5 right now at 615-737-1025, and you'll win a pair of tickets to see Thomas Rhett at Bridgestone Arena on September 30th. Good luck to you. Stillman and Company, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
All the big plays.
Touchdown, Tennessee!
All the big stories.
I fully expected DeAndre Hopkins wanting a one-year deal.
All in one place. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
Touchdown, Tennessee!
You're going to make a trade like this.
Does he want to retire a Tennessee Titan?
The door's on the board.
Such superstar players. The Game. And the Game Nashville app.
Daniel Tosh is back. Sweet Tea Tour.
It is great to be here in America. The greatest country in the world.
This Thursday, Ryman Auditorium. Late show at 9:30 p.m. On sale now. Online at Ryman.com. Don't miss your chance to see Daniel Tosh. Sponsored by PNC Bank and AXS. Proud partners of Ryman Auditorium.
The two most sought-after, most prestigious names in bridal jewelry come together for one epic event this weekend at Genesis Diamonds.
Tacori and Verragio, the world's premier designers, are showing off their entire collections. All the latest design, many showcased for the first time ever, with up to $5,000 in savings.
Everyone loves Tacori, meticulously crafted by master artisans in their California design studio. Discover the hidden details and exceptional quality that sets Tacori apart. There's always more than meets the eye with Tacori. Come explore the entire Tacori collection, including all new Tacori fine jewelry, earrings, bracelets, eternity bands, pendants, and more.
If you're engagement ring shopping, this is a once-a-year event you can't miss. Other jewelers aren't even allowed to carry these iconic American-made brands.
Also for this event, Genesis is showcasing an expanded selection of GIA-certified diamonds in all shapes and sizes.
Come join us and take advantage of special incentives, zero interest financing, and as much as $5,000 in savings. This Friday through Sunday, only at Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
In any work environment, the culture is the most important thing. And what makes up the culture? The people. Hey, this is Sean Fort, General Manager of Cromwell Media, and this month we want to highlight a few of our employees celebrating their anniversary. We have 2 members of our sales department, Jeff Kolb celebrating 12 years, and Matt Saggio celebrating 11 years with Cromwell Media. We also want to highlight Tina Jackson in our HR department, celebrating 2 years. Thank you all for making this a great place to work. If you're looking for a new career or just somewhere fun to work, send us a resume to together@cromwellmedia.com. Love what you do, love where you work.
We are Nashville's best sports talk, live and local from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. When you want the national
Hey. I got this. I'll take it from here.
Okay, go ahead. Dying to hear this.
We have the best national voices that you'll find anywhere.
Who was more deserving of being thrown from their game?
I'm odd, so I get the odd picks.
They have a new coaching staff.
It's not a bad scenario for them.
We are 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
And 94.9 The Fan.
Hey Nashville, I'm Gary Smith, head coach of Nashville SC. You're listening to Nashville's best sports talk, 102.5 The Game.
Last year had nothing to do with this year, but how good to get the win and fill it back and hope it.
Well, it's important. It's important to get off to a good start, and again, tight games at home. We needed it. We all needed it, and but we can be able to learn from it and see when we do the things that we talk about and practice, and the execution, what it looks like.
There you go. That was Vrabel after the win yesterday. And so, with all these games, we can go over every play here and every play there, but I always like having like a big takeaway, right? And yesterday, walking out of the stadium, I've already bragged this hour about how excited I was about the fact that from ball going through the uprights to dropping my friend off on West End to being home in Green Hills was less than 30 minutes, which, sometimes when, and I'm going to say but I'm really talking about me because it maybe sounds like I'm bragging about getting home so fast. It's not so much a brag as much as it is that I'm just so proud of myself. I'm just so amazed by that. But, after the game yesterday, I was thinking about just the exhilaration that I had leaving that stadium and the high-fiving, and everybody was excited and everybody was happy, and even listening to some of your phones today. I mean, last week it was, "Oh, God, we stink." And this week, it's, "Jared, I think Tannehill can lead us to the Super Bowl." It's like, whoa. My big takeaway is this. Every game's going to be just like the first two. Every one of them. That's the kind of team you are. It's the kind of team you were last year. It's the kind of team you were the year before that. It's the kind of team you were the year before that. If Tannehill hits Chigakonkwo on the sideline against the Saints and you win, then you would have been exhilarated by the fact that you won that Saints game. And instead of worrying about how Tannehill's 35 years old, and instead of thinking that the sky is falling and everything else, we would have been talking about how good the defense is and how, boy, they held up. And, boy, that kicker, he's something great. 5 field goals and the game-winning touchdown for the Titans. He was awesome. And so I guess what I'm saying is my big takeaway is, every game this season is going to be like the first one and like the second one, which is a roller coaster. And it's going to be one play here or one play there or one referee's decision, and that's what's going to decide whether or not you win or lose. And if you're somebody like me or you're a huge fan, your happiness is going to be determined by one or two plays in a game that are the difference in that game. I mean, I think yesterday, the plays in the game that were kind of those are the difference-making plays. The bomb to Burks, the bomb to Moore, the sack by Landry with the Chargers driving, trying to score a touchdown when they ended up kicking a field goal to tie the game to send into overtime. I mean, that's going to be what decides this season. Just like those plays you didn't make against the Saints. And so next week, I expect it to be, I don't look at this win and say, okay, Titans are back on schedule. They're headed back to the playoffs. I'm not doing that. Now, I did watch Jacksonville play Kansas City. I did watch the condensed game, where NFL Plus, it's play. They cut out all the extra stuff, so you just watch the game, which I appreciate. Jacksonville was horrible. At home, Kansas City started off slow offensively. Kansas City turned the ball over 3 times, including Richie James dropping a punt inside the 15, and the Jags couldn't score touchdowns. And, again, it's not like the Chiefs have the best defense in the history of the NFL. They had the ball at the 1-yard line. They couldn't score. They had to kick a field goal. They scored 9 points. Lawrence was awful, had a 66 quarterback rating. I mean, has him right there overthrowing guys in the end zone where they're only getting 1 foot down. I mean, he was horrible. And so I watched Jacksonville at home against Kansas City, where Kansas City committed 12 penalties for almost 100 yards, turned the ball over 3 times, and still really didn't muster up much of a fight. And I'm thinking, you know what? This division's going to be a brawl. It's not going to be the Jacksonville cakewalk that every pundit was declaring after Jacksonville won the season. Again, on one play here or there, a ref's call, the same ref's call that effed you against the Saints. I mean, like, this is what it's going to be. And it's like this for almost every team in the league. Unless you stink like Chicago or you're really, really good like San Francisco, that's what this is going to be for the league. And that's how it's always been for you and the way you play. So that's my big takeaway. It's not like I breathe any fresh air that the season all of a sudden is headed in the right direction because they won the game. I mean, I'm glad they're 1-1 because there's a big difference between 1-1 and 0-2. But just think about it from a Chargers perspective. Everybody's talking about Brandon Staley getting fired. And I'm not a Brandon Staley fan. But they've lost 2 games by a combined 5 points. It's 2 plays that has defined their season. 2 plays here and there. And that's it. And that's kind of, my big takeaway so far, from these 2 games. And I didn't get all up in arms and all bent out of shape about the Saints' loss. The things that drive me crazy are the things that I think are stupid. So when Derrick Henry plays 48% of the snaps against the Saints, I think that's stupid, and it drives me crazy. When Mike Vrabel goes for it at the 46-yard line on 4th and 4, when he can't block, I think that's stupid. And so that drives me nuts. But, like, the Titans are giving up way too many big plays on defense, and I don't like it, and they got to get it corrected. But, I mean, that doesn't drive me crazy like the stupid stuff. The stupid stuff is what drives me insane. Like the Trevon Wesco false starts that all of a sudden put you right behind the chains, and now you have to pass block. And we know that the Titans aren't very good as far as pass blocking are concerned. Texter says, Jared, where are you on Nick Folk now? Weren't you critical of that trade? You may be sticking to that take. I just tuned in. I heard that you were corresponding with a guy from New England who, I don't know what this says, but the guy in New England told me that he was nails from 45 and in. He didn't kick past 41 yesterday. Look, folks made his kicks. And I hope to be wrong about can we not get a kicker who's going to, kick it longer? And can we not, do all this, it's a... But I will be fine with being wrong about that. Right now, I like what I see. Yesterday on the pregame show, on the first pregame show, when we had that check-in from the stadium with TD, we had TD on from the Saints game, and he was like, Nick Folk's out there right now from 51. And TD was like, it's up, it's on its way, it's good. And we're like, oh, yes. Yesterday, it was bright sunshine early for the pregame show. And, we're sitting right there at Teddy's Tavern across the street from Bridgestone where they got the window. You can see exactly what it looks like downtown. And so out of nowhere, it went from bright sunshine to kind of overcast. And TD's like, oh, he just missed from 45, and it just started to rain a little bit. I was like, oh, no, 1 drop of rain, and he misses a kick. And, obviously I'm kind of kidding about that, but, So then, during the game, the rain starts coming down, and I'm like, oh, God, no. Oh, no. And he banged it right through, and I couldn't have been happier. And then I bolted out of the stadium. 615-737-1025 is our phone number here on the program. Big one tonight because the Browns are playing, who the Titans are about to play. We'll get to that coming up next. Hey, Twice Daily, I love Twice Daily. That's right. And I love the loyalty program, and you need to download the app so you can take part in those rewards. Go to twicedaily.com/rewards. Download the Twice Daily app today and join that loyalty program to unlock special discounts, savings, and so much more. It pays to be a member with Twice Daily, where you'll earn points and save money with every visit. And it is finally pumpkin time. Fall into fall with their scrumptiously moist pumpkin cream cheese muffins this September. And, of course, if you're one of those members that's got the rewards, free small hot or iced coffee with any breakfast croissant purchase. Loyalty members only. Back to school means back to coffee and back to breakfast from Twice Daily. If you're looking for convenience, Twice Daily has you covered. And they've got me covered, too. I go to the one in my neighborhood all the time. Twice Daily. Fresh all day.
Nashville Sounds Baseball lives on 94.9 The Fan. Catch every pitch.
Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Every hit.
That's a base hit.
Every run.
Looking up, it's gone.
On your home for Sounds Baseball. 94.9 The Fan and The Fan app.
It's time for another Kubota Field event hosted by Coleman Tractor of Nashville. Our biggest sales event of the year will take place on Thursday, September 21st at the Nashville Gun Club during the Shooting Hunger Sporting Clays Shoot. Stop by our booth to learn all about Kubota. Zero-turn mowers, utility vehicles, and more. Take advantage of Kubota's competitive financing offers, receive a coupon for up to $250, plus enter to win prizes. Try it and buy it at Coleman Tractor of Nashville during the Shooting Hunger Sporting Clays Shoot at the Nashville Gun Club, Thursday, September 21st. The event kicks off at 7:30 a.m.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can do it now in less than a week. Hey, Willie Donick here. That's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. You don't even have to touch your primary mortgage. You can keep that 3% rate intact. Get just the money you need and pay off all those credit cards or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites.
Penalty Box Radio Live is back. Join Alex Doherty and Sean Smith every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for a full hour of local hockey talk, full analysis of the Nashville Predators. Honest hockey talk like you've come to expect from the Penalty Box Radio brand over the years. Penalty Box Radio is back home on 102.5 The Game for the 2023-2024 hockey season. For more, check them out at penaltyboxradio.com.
They combine hard-hitting journalism.
The Titans asked Kevin Byard to take a pay cut.
Strong-willed opinions.
There's hot takes and then there's like weird takes. Yeah. This is a weird take.
And sometimes some old man takes.
I'm excited about it. So do I gyrate embarrassingly?
To create the perfect morning show, they are Robbie and Rex Road. Mornings from 6 to 9. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app. Strong opinions and a strong personality on your drive home. This is Stillman and Company on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
I think we'll get a jump on them. We'll have to do that. And then we'll watch how tonight goes. And certainly they got off to a good start last week. And then we'll see where they're at tonight. It'll be a huge challenge on the road like it always is against a talented football team.
Do you guys watch it as a team, as a staff? Do you watch it individually? Just kind of how do you handle games like that?
I think it'll probably be, sure our players will watch. I'm not sure what they're doing. We're not doing anything formal. Coaches, may sit in there and watch. We'll also probably be getting ready, trying to, game plan or take a look at first and second down or whatever it may be and have it on. It's tough to really get, you can get some things live, but hopefully we'll just get our prep work in and then, see where the film is in the morning.
There you go. That was Vrabel talking about the Browns tonight on Monday Night Football. By the way, I love the football guy thing, right? Yeah, we'll have the game on, but there's really nothing. We gotta watch the film. That's what we gotta see. We gotta see the film. Let me put it to you like this. I watched the condensed game of the Chargers playing the Dolphins and the condensed game of the Titans playing the Chargers last year. And on that third down where Mike Brown almost intercepted the pass, not that I'm comparing myself to a football coach or anything like that, but I'm sitting up there, and I tweeted this out. I'm sitting up there in the stands, and I go, I would bet my house this ball is going to Keenan Allen because I saw how much Justin Herbert threw the ball to Keenan Allen on third down. Now, I agree. I like to watch the film too because you can see who missed a block or who didn't miss a block or something like that, and they understand it way better than I do, in terms of that stuff. But I love the football guy mentality of, oh, no, we don't get anything out of watching the game on TV. Sure. You think Vrabel's going to just have it on in the background while he works, or do you think Vrabel's going to watch the game, Ian?
I don't know if he's going to pay super close attention to the game for the entire game. I doubt he pays super close attention to the entire game.
I bet he does. How do you not get sucked into watching it? You're a football guy.
He's got other stuff to do, other stuff to watch.
Okay. So.
We're busy around here. We're trying to win.
Couple of things here. Number one, you want to root for the Browns because, as we've always said,
fat and happy.
Fat and happy. And if they beat the Steelers and the Bengals to go to 2-0, and every time they play the Steelers, that's going to be a bruising kind of game. That it's going to be physical. It's going to be tough.
AFC North football.
Yeah, it's going to be. So they're going to be beat up in this one on a short week. But there is nothing like the fat and happy Browns if they're 2-0. And the owner will be happy, and that'll just get to everybody on that team. So go Browns. Even somebody like me who was high on the Steelers and buying all that stock. The second thing is this is part of a doubleheader where ESPN, I believe, will have Carolina and the Saints, and ABC will have the Browns and the Steelers. I believe the Titans, when they play the Dolphins, are on ESPN that week. I believe it's kind of a similar deal. I don't think anybody in America is going to be watching Carolina versus the Saints unless Browns-Steelers is a terrible game. Now, if it's, this could be like the NCAA basketball tournament where it's like if that game's close, then I'll flip to that one. But I'm not seeing it. That's it for us. We are out of here. Great Titans Monday. Boy, they're so much more fun when they win. The Commodore Hour with Clark Lee is coming up next, and Vandy's got some explaining to do. That was a tough loss to swallow, so we look forward to that. That's coming up next here. By the way, I'll be at the Vandy game on Saturday. The Commodore Hour is next. Stillman and Company. Of course, we will see you all tomorrow at 2.
Green right, Fox 2 run, double K.